The Blast from Our Past Network.
Hey everyone, co-host Corey here. I just wanted to take a quick second and say thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Without you, Podcasting After Dark would not be possible. If you would like to help the show grow, please consider signing up at patreon.com/podcastingafterdark. You can also support the show by purchasing one of our awesome t-shirt designs on our merch store at podcastingafterdark.com, or by picking up a copy of 7 Winters Alone by David Irons on paperback, hardback, or Kindle. Just search for 7 Winters Alone on Amazon or click on the link in the show notes. A free way to help out is to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those reviews are huge for us and really helps get the show in front of new listeners. Again, thank you all so much for the love and support you've given us over these past few years. It really means the world to us.
Lock your doors, close your windows, turn out your lights, for chills and thrills await you. It's time for Podcasting After Dark with your hosts, Corey Stevenson and Zach Schaefer. Stay with a friend, say your prayers as grisly ghouls close in to seal your doom. Tonight's episode, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, starring Ronn Moss, Dona Speir, and Hope Marie Carlton.
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii. It's not paradise all the time. It's a hard ticket to Hawaii. Oh man, buddy, I love that song so damn much. Thank you for singing it with me.
I'll tell you what, if Andrew Dice Clay was in the recording studio while that song was being done, he'd be like, what the hell is this?
You know what he would say? He would say, what are these assholes smiling about?
Exactly. Well, if there's any indication of what we're about to watch, I could see what they would be smiling about. Makes total sense.
Yeah, dude. First off, I'm Corey, a.k.a. Sleazy C, joined with me, as always, by my brother from another mother, Zach, the total snack kid shaver. What's up, buddy?
What's up? I think I'm going to be shirtless for the rest of this episode and all oiled up.
Thank God. Like I have no problem when you're shirtless. Now, I will say, before we get into Hard Ticket to Hawaii, you just came back from a trip to Hawaii, which is absolutely perfect. And I got to know, buddy, Did you pay the price for paradise?
Oh boy, buddy boy, I sure did, sadly to say. As much as I had an amazing time in Hawaii, I paid the price on one trip, which resulted in several buckets of vomit being filled. Several buckets being filled with vomit, I should say. It was brutal. But if you want to hear that whole story and more about my trip to Hawaii, check out our Wrap Up After Dark on Patreon. It's a cheap plug, I know, but it kind of makes sense because I'll go more into detail about what happened on my trip to Hawaii. And oh boy, was it a hard ticket at times, but on the other hand, it was also a soft, fun ride.
Oh man! Now I know you get motion sickness on the plane and on boats, so I don't say anything because I want to hear the story for myself. But is it a motion sickness story?
Oh yeah, it is. It's one of those stories where you think, I'll just tease this. It's one of those stories where you think, oh, there is no way something bad would happen. And it did. So if you want to hear the whole story, and those of you that are already patrons, you'll be able to hear it. But if you want to hear it, the full gory details, sign up. It's a good one. It's a good story. There's a lot of great content on there besides my vomit story, by the way. I'm just going to say.
That is going to be the main reason to join. So, and speaking of Patreon, this is a Patreon-picked episode. Our pal Erin, this is her first movie. So thank you so much, Erin, for picking Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Sleazy C approves. God, I love this movie. But thank you, Erin. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for supporting us on Instagram. Thank you for, supporting us financially. Thank you for supporting us with all the love that you support us with. And we really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much. And thank you for picking Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah, Erin, you behind the scenes, Erin was very torn between certain movies to choose for her first selection. Crystal hit it out the park with her first selection, Monster Squad. Just blew the socks off what we expected to be breaking down. It was perfect. Erin, you have set the bar very high for your picks moving forward, because this one is kind of the perfect pad movie. And in all full disclosure, we had discussed doing this movie at some point. So you pulling the trigger and taking this one is a blessing. It's a blessing.
You pulling the Picasso trigger.
The Picasso trigger. The 7-barrel Picasso trigger. And if you don't know what that 7 references, well, you'll find out in a little bit.
That's right. So, Zach, I'll just give you my experience with the film. So Hard Ticket to Hawaii, I actually watched it, I think about last year. I went down an Andy Sidaris rabbit hole because I realized I don't think I'd ever seen any of his movies in their entirety, although I'm sure I caught a lot on Skinamax back in the day because I pretty much lived on Skinamax on the weekends. But I picked this up because they're all so cheap on Amazon. Like, each movie is like $12 on Blu-ray. So I just kind of did a quick Google search what everyone liked the most, and they're like Hard Ticket to Hawaii, so I picked it up and I watched it last year, and I fucking loved it. Loved every goddamn ridiculous second of this film. And yeah, like Zach said, we definitely were gonna get to it at some point. We don't know when, but at some point. I did ask Zach, I was like, hey man, I know we can't really do Emmanuel films, but can we do Andy Sidaris ones? And he was like, yeah, dude, we can do those. And I was like, oh, baby. So I will say this. Thank you, Erin. And maybe this won't now be the only Andy Sidaris film that we ever do. I may pull one out later because I want to go down and watch more. I want to go down the rabbit hole of Andy Sidaris, and I adore him in all of his sleaziness. R.I.P., of course. He passed away a while ago. But man, oh man, is he my kind of sleaze. I feel like there's some version of me where Andy Sidaris is the final form. You know what I mean? What I would have destined to become if I was in this industry. But anyways, Zach, what is your experience with Hard Ticket to Hawaii or other Andy Sidaris films in general?
Well, first of all, shout out to Mill Creek, because Mill Creek put out Hard Ticket to Hawaii on their label, and all the other Sidaris ones, with the exception of one. The first one in this quadrilogy, or however many titles there are in this series. I think there's like 10 at this point. The first one was called 7, and by the way, highly recommend 7 to everybody. That one came out in 1979. And I think it was 1979 when it came out. Yeah. And it starred William Smith, who is like a legendary B-movie actor, grizzled veteran. Also had Art Metrano, who is famous for being in the Police Academy movies, and Ed Parker, who is the founder of American Kempo Karate, and a lot of other very noticeable people in this. Oh, Martin Cove, yeah. Sensei Kreese, of course, yep, was in it as well. So 7 is what started my Sidaris run. My brother would record many Sidaris movie on Cinemax late at night and keep them for whatever reason. And I saw his tapes, and I was going through puberty, and I watched those tapes, and I think you can surmise the rest is history. So that's about when I saw most of these movies. Hard Ticket is the third movie in the series of Hawaii set films. I think the first one was 7 followed by Malibu Express.
Right, then Hard Ticket, then Picasso Trigger, and then Savage Beach.
Yeah, and they get progressively worse.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, unfortunately.
I'm not gonna, let's call it what it is. These movies are not that great. However, the 80s, as we've said many times before. The 80s holds such a warm place in our hearts. So, this one is 1987, right? Is that when that one came?
Yeah, this one's
1987.
Yeah, this one's 87.
So,
Picasso Trigger will be 88.
Then I think everything moving forward is in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So,
no, Savage Beach is 89, but yeah, Guns starts out at 90, and then kind of they move forward with that. And I've got to say, man, one of the things that really drew me towards Hard Ticket was the frickin' poster art is beautiful. It's painted. It's amazing. So is Malibu Express and so is Seven. But Picasso Trigger, it looks like it starts getting a little bit Photoshoppy, and then the rest of them just go downhill into your typical Photoshop, covers from the 90s. But I was very impressed with the early painted covers like this one, like Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah, Lunch Meat VHS, or Lunch Meat, I think they're called Lunch Meat VHS, something like that, or maybe just Lunch Meat. They put out new VHS tapes all the time, and they reissued Hard Ticket to Hawaii on VHS, and I own that. It's a orange and yellow cassette tape. It's beautiful, just to have it up on my shelf, And I would say it's been a minute since I've seen Picasso Trigger, but I have a feeling that one is not good, and maybe Hard Ticket is pretty much pretty much the ultimate version of what should be considered softcore. Not even softcore though, dude, because let's be honest, the love scenes in this are very tame by today's standards.
Yeah.
Almost PG-13 tame.
I mean, aside from the massive amounts of nudity, I would say that when I was a kid, I probably found the Terminator sex scene to be much more erotic than any of the ones in here,
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's with the hand holding and all that kind of, and the passion in Linda Hamilton. But here, and the driving soundtrack here, the obviously the ladies are all hot, but yeah, the sex scenes definitely lack an eroticism to them.
They're not sexy at all, as Buck would say in Boogie Nights. It's just not sexy. It's not sexy, Jack.
But I do echo, and I think the internet echoes your sentimentality, which is that Hard Ticket to Hawaii is probably the gold standard for the Andy Sidaris, movies, for the Andy Sidaris catalog. But I do think that other movies have, some nice things about them. And later on, you start getting into, Julie Strain and whatnot is in them and everything. She's always awesome.
Well, Pat Morita was in one, maybe two of them. Everybody should go check out Seven, by the way. I said it earlier, but go check it out. It's available on Kino.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that because I'm on IMDb right now, and of all the Andy Sidaris movies, Seven has the highest user rating by a large margin. Large marge. But it's got a 5.8, and then the next highest is Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which has a 4.9. Everything else has lower than that, down to 4s and stuff. So apparently Seven and Hard Ticket are probably his two best.
Yeah, I think the minute he started getting into surgically enhanced models for his movies, that's when it started going downhill. And these are the all natural, I think, for the most part, right?
I think so. If they're not, they had great jobs, great, plastic surgery jobs, because everyone looks natural to me, especially Dona Speir. I mean, guys and gals, we can't not have this discussion. I mean,
it is look, guys, this is as dark and dirty as we're gonna get, and it's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, the mammaries permeate throughout.
They do. And boy, oh boy, does Dona Speir lead the charge. She is voluptuous, to say the least, a statuesque blonde beauty. And you want to dive into the cast and crew? We just talked about Andy Sidaris. He's the writer and the director of all these movies. He also his wife is a producer. And I do real quick, on the side, watching some behind the scenes stuff. I like the fact that both of them knew exactly the kind of movies they were making, and they understood, and I would say more so his wife and everything. I appreciate that. She understands what the market was for this and what they were doing and the niche that they sort of kind of controlled for a period of time, I mean, these, like you said, these are kind of the ultimate Skinamax films.
Yeah, look, I feel like if Harvey Weinstein had fully embraced his grossness and just made movies that stimulated that side of him, he might not have gotten into the trouble that he got himself into because he tried to keep it so private and secretive and everything. Andy Sidaris is like, I'm speaking for him, and I'm sure he didn't say this, but maybe in some respect he did. I love women, and I love to see women get naked, so this is what I like. And if this is what I like, then let's make a movie about it. Why do I sound like one of the Canon guys? I have no idea, but it is what it is. I like TNA. And guns. I like guns.
I was like, are you going down Electric Boogaloo route here?
Pretty much. I mean, that may be my voice throughout the rest of this episode. I like that scene when they, get naked with big guns.
That is A-okay, my friend, because his actual voice is not that cool, and you do hear it in the movie.
No.
Because we should call it out real quick. You do see Andy Sidaris in the film. He plays Whitey, the sleazy TV producer, TV director from New York, the big-time TV director from New York, and he is purely sleazy in this movie.
It's Harvey Weinstein, guys. Like, it is what, I'm sure was talked about in Hollywood, but obviously covered up for decades. So at least I came up in the open and I say who I am. I like DNA and guns. Hey, that's what I like to do.
I mean, props to him for that, dude. I give nothing but props. So
no doubt. So, he was the one. He's the mastermind behind all this. Ronn Moss is one of the leads. He plays Rowdy, and Ronn Moss says
one of the beautiful dum-dums in this movie.
He took over for some other dude in
the Malibu Express dude. He took over for Cody, played by Darby Hinton. But in this movie, Cody and Rowdy are cousins. So, and I do like the fact that Andy Sidaris also created his own shared universe, his own mini MCU. That's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, he created a whole multiverse.
He did. He really did.
He really did. And one of the stars of this one, and she went on to do I think 2 or 3 more. Actually, a lot more. I think 5. More roles, reprising her role each time, was Dona Speir, who plays Dona. Stretch. And, she's a former Playboy Playmate, yada, yada, yada. You're going to hear that often when we talk about the cast.
And while you're talking about her now, I'll just mention the only bit of behind-the-scenes trivia I can really add. According to her autobiography, this movie, she was kind of drunk the entire time, and she was not really pleased with her performance. But after Hard Ticket, she actually got sober through the help of Andy Sidaris and his wife and everything. And then moving forward on the movies that they actually shot on, she said that they would have a car ready to take her to AA anytime she wanted to on set. If she felt like she was going to fall back on the wagon, off the wagon, I never know how it goes, but start drinking again. And so if it's true, if all this is true, again, that's actually pretty fucking cool that they were so supportive of her recovery. And I believe she's been sober ever since, which is impressive.
Wow, that's a really big deal. I could see why she would. Well, at first I was like, oh, that makes sense. That tracks why she was drunk all the time, because maybe she didn't want to do this movie. But then she went on to do several more, and more intensely, I suppose. And that's great. I'm happy to hear that. And I'm not going to make a bad joke. No, do not make a bad joke about what I did with her, because Donna is a beautiful woman. Why do you sound like the dude from Canon? I don't know. It's just the voice I put on.
And I mean, that's super supportive of Andy Sidaris and his wife to do that. So props to Andy Sidaris.
Yeah, big time. Another fine for Andy was Hope Marie Carlton, who plays Taryn. And, oh boy, she's been in a bunch of stuff. But she was the pinup girl in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. I think she was the waterbed woman, right?
Yes, where she shoots her tongue out or something and it, wraps up his arms and everything. And then the bed falls out from underneath of him. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sure. I think so. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm just going to go with yes. Yes. And she did 8 more movies.
That's her biggest mainstream thing that she did, I think.
Yeah, and she was also, again, another Playboy playmate.
Yes.
And then there's Rodrigo Obregon, who plays Seth Romero. This guy showed up in quite a few of Andy Sidaris' movies as well, like Hard Hunted, Savage Beast. He was in Collateral, which is a Schwarzenegger movie, and something to be proud of for sure.
Yeah, and then the other half of the beautiful Dum-Dums, Harold Diamond playing Jade. Not gonna lie to you, my least favorite person in this entire movie. I was not digging on his energy, and I wasn't digging on like what he was all about. But Jade, Harold Diamond.
Harold Diamond actually is a legit American kickboxer, and he was in Rambo 3. And, the guy, let's call it out, the guy's a legitimate badass. And,
sure.
He's very offensive with some of his dialogue towards our, Asian American community. So, so for that, he gets an F, but everything else, he gets a B-. Cynthia Brimhall plays Edie. Cynthia Brimhall has been in a ton of Sidaris' movies, and she's also a Playboy playmate. I pick the best girls. I say to my wife, honey, can we get a subscription to Playboy? And she says, of course we can, for research,
I mean, there's clearly a theme going on here. But again, I'm going to say that Andy Sidaris is great because he keeps working with the same people. He keeps giving people work,
Yeah. There's only one more dude there was only one more dude I was going to point out. Wolf Larson.
Our buddy Wolf Larson, a.k.a. Jimmy John Jackson, baby. Now,
Jimmy John Jackson.
On the other side of the Jade flip coin, I love Jimmy John Jackson in this movie.
He was great. He was on a TV show called L.A. Heat, which in the late 90s, which was a decent TV show. I think he's one of the leads on that show with Stephen Williams from 21 Jump Street and Jason Goes to Hell.
Nice.
Yeah, so L.A. Heat was actually a pretty decent show. You guys should check that out. But that pretty much rounds out the most important cast members. I might say the inflatable doll was important, too, for a moment. And Skateboard we saw at one point. Skateboard's a pretty awesome actor. Skateboard does a great job of going down a street by itself. So shout out to Skateboard.
Shout out to Skateboard.
What up, Skateboard?
Now, you don't want to give Chemo a shout out? Rustam Brananaman, he was in Iron Man 3. Oh boy, do I hate every word that comes out of Chemo's mouth in this movie, and his weird eyebrows that are just, he always looks like he's shocked and surprised as he barely able to mumble out his lines.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I didn't bring him up, but thank you for doing so.
Thank you for doing so. But I do want to call out Erin, played by Glenn Chin. He was in an episode of Seinfeld, so good for him.
Have you seen that episode yet, or do you know the episode that he's in?
Oh yeah, it's so stereotypical. I'm sure you can picture it in your head. He's the heavy Asian guy, like season 5. I think it was the episode he was in.
That's really not surprising.
Yeah, real stretch. But I will say, don't sleep on Peter Bromelo, because he actually has some good stuff under his belt, like Highlander 2. The best Highlander.
I just also want to point out, because I know, guys, you're typically I named the cast and I stopped, and then Corey continued to go, and he's shouting out people like John Balaganog and Kurt Longhair and like Johnny Longjohns. He was in 3 seconds of Too Close for Comfort, guys. Come on. He was a walk-on.
That would be impressive. That would be impressive.
So there's usually a method to my madness, and I think it's pretty obvious why. Corey's like, I'm excited for this guy.
Hey, Mr. Chang was in Briscoe County Jr., buddy, a TV Obscura show that we love. So,
dude, I props to that shit.
Props to that show. Not Mr. Chang, though, but props to Briscoe County.
Props to Briscoe. Come on.
Oh, shit.
As you can tell, guys, this is going to be a very interesting episode. So, Erin, you're welcome, and thank you.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna be breaking this one down, and I mean, I tracked it all like we normally would, crazy dialogue and all. And guys and gals, I'm just putting the disclaimer out now. If any of the dialogue that I say sounds weird, just know that I transcribed it from the subtitles exactly as they say it, and I'm not entirely sure what exactly happens in every scene of this movie, but I have it all, and we're going to walk through it like this is any other movie. So, yeah, this might be the most analyzation or discussion Hard Ticket to Hawaii has ever had in one condensed go.
Probably. And what's interesting about this, and I was thinking about it watching this movie's been talked about probably on other podcasts many times. But our approach, as you guys well know, is very different from everybody else. Will there be shitting? Perhaps there'll be some shitting, but is it in a way to trash the movie? No, it's a very matter-of-fact sort of way. And I also want to point out, too, whatever dialogue Corey brings up has no reflection of me or him or our personal feelings. So if he says, for example, women are supposed to be soft or something to that effect, that is not a direct quote. It is a quote from the movie, not Corey himself.
Thank you, and I do have that quote ready to go, so
I'm sure you
get
do.
to that.
And also, too, guys, really quick before we get into the whole bingo bango tinga tango, Erin picked this movie for us to break down, and again, thank you. You can be one to break down this movie or any movie of your choosing. With a little caveat.
No Emmanuel, no Black Emmanuel or anything with Lord Gemser.
Yeah, no ping pong balls being shot out of any orifice.
Yep.
But you can, if you sign up at our highest tier on Patreon, then you can be one to break down a movie.
Or suggest a movie for us to break down. You don't have to do all the hard work, because this took 2 days for me to break this down.
Yeah, like the song says, it's not paradise all the time, but if you choose the movie, it will be paradise for you.
Exactly.
So, Erin, I hope you're feeling like it's paradise for you.
Zach, you want to sing us into the breakdown?
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii.
It's not paradise all the time.
Did you hear those cats?
God damn it.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It has it all. The awesome, pristine beauty of the land. The warm caress of perfect beaches. The tantalizing wetness of the blue Pacific. Hawaii. It's a great place to visit, but you wouldn't want to die there.
Sing!
4 of America's finest, ready and willing to pay the price for paradise. They're undercover, but not under-equipped. On this mission, there's hard flying, hard playing, hard fighting.
Agents are everywhere.
Have no mercy. Kill them all.
This ain't no hula. It's a hard ticket to Hawaii.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii, 1987. The movie starts...
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's stuck in my head too, bro. I can't help it. I love that song so much. It's not as good as Bumpin' the Night for Witchboard, but it's up there, man. It's up there with some of my favorite songs from the movies that we've covered on this show.
And I do want to say really quick, Kevin Tenney, who directed Witchboard, gave us a shout out via his Facebook personal page because he did listen to our breakdown. He enjoyed it immensely. And so I'm just saying,
That's cool.
The guys who make the movies listen to our shows.
That's cool. I wish Andy Sidaris was still around so I could, God, I'd give him a big old hug, man. I mean, like,
maybe we could get Dona Speir on the show.
That would be. I'd give her a hug too. So moving on, the movie starts.
By the way, the opening logo, the Malibu Bay Films logo, is so dope.
Yeah, no, I love that one. And man, I can't wait to talk about the best credits we've ever seen on a pad movie to date. But yeah, dude, totally. And it also starts with a freaking beautiful Hawaiian sunset. Lots of beautiful shots in this movie. They definitely did a great job of utilizing the location that they used.
Been there, done that. I wonder if the gods were appreciative of Sidaris' work. I guess he'll find out now that he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. We then see a sign for the Ala Moana Yacht Club, Honolulu. So we know we're in Honolulu right now. Dona and Rowdy are in their bathing suits on the deck of the Malibu Express. Dona tells Rowdy he should get in the water, but Rowdy says he has better things to do with his body temperature and pulls Dona close and kisses her. Yeah, guys, this is what this kind of movie is going to be.
I'm making a movie here, guys. You don't understand. This is a real movie. This dialogue is so good.
It is. It's a real movie. It is a real movie.
Yeah, you know who said that? Every porno director in the 80s said that too. It's a real movie. It's really good.
Yeah, back when they actually shot it on film and everything. Yeah, exactly. Below the deck of the Malibu Express, Dona and Rowdy are in their bath towels, and Rowdy hands Dona, I guess, a cup of coffee. Dona says, "I'm going to miss you, Rowdy, Abilene." He says that she doesn't have to go back to Molokai. He can request her to be staffed with him in Honolulu. But Dona says that the agency wants her in Molokai. Rowdy says, "Drug enforcement is no job for a girl like you." To which she scoffs, "Right. Stay here and play You Tarzan, Me Jane." Rowdy smiles and says, "You can't blame me for trying." Dona says, "Yeah, well, try this," and drops her towel. She then rips off Rowdy's towel, and they kiss. Do you like how sweet little... And they kiss.
I mean, it's so hilarious because it literally is just like that. And then that's it for the scene. That's it.
That's it for the scene. Scene break. I have my scene break right there.
Yep.
Cut to two police officers getting out of a little boat on an island. The older officer tells the younger one to leave the guns on the boat. They won't need them. As the two officers walk deeper into the island, the older one tells the younger rookie that this part of the island belongs to a family that's been growing weed there for multiple generations. Once a year I come down, I tell them, "Hey, take it easy, brah." Then I hit them with a small fine and off I go. The rookie asks if they keep growing it. "Oh yeah, no hurt nobody." Guys, again, I'm just reading the dialogue. It will make work for the locals.
This is your terrible pigeon accent, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. The locals spend their money in town. Everybody makes out. Me, I get a small package for my troubles. He then tells the rookie that in a month he's going to retire, so he needs to learn the routine. So, of course, it's like, okay, well, if you're going to retire, that means you're dead now because, you know your retirement's coming. But I got to say, I mean, he's not wrong about the whole weed thing. It shouldn't be illegal because, yeah, the families, they spend their money in town, and it's helpful for everybody.
It only took, 30 some odd years for us to catch up to that thought
idea
process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Thank you to Colorado for leading the way.
Goddamn.
The two police officers make their way to the encampment, but instead of finding the family that owns that part of the island, they find a large operation with multiple people harvesting and some hired guns. Sensing something is wrong, the two police officers quickly make their way back to the boat, but unfortunately stumble upon a booby trap, the kind that kind of ties their legs up and, lifts them up into the air. Our three main goons, Shades, Earring, and Skater, that's their name, guys, Shades, Earring, and Skater, find the cops hanging upside down and gun them down. Shades and his blonde nose hairs tell them to dispose of the evidence, including their boat. Oh, Zach, I could talk for an hour about Shades' blonde fucking nose hairs that you see.
Well, I doubt Larry Hama designed these guys or created these guys when he was doing G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
These are like rejected G.I. Joe. Maybe it was Larry Hama. He's like, "Guys, look, I got this great idea for a character. We call him Shades. Larry, Stop smoking weed and come up with some real guys. How about Snake Eyes? Sure.
How about Snake Eyes?
mean,
And Larry, does Shades? What's his thing? Oh, he wears shades. Oh, okay. And what about earring? Oh, he's got an earring. Oh, that makes sense. And what about skater? Well, he rides a skateboard. Bah, boom. That's hat trick right there, buddy. All three of them out of the park.
But I want to throw a wrench into Skater. He also likes hanging out with inflatable dolls. Perfect.
Dude, okay, so earring is a overweight, I guess, Asian American gentleman. Shades, like we said, is a blonde guy, clean-shaven blonde guy with incredibly blonde nose hairs. And then Skater, Skater, he looks like he's 40, but I guarantee you
he looks like Tiger King.
Tiger King. Does. He fucking does.
I wrote that down. I'm like, is that the Tiger King?
He's got a blonde mustache and thinning blonde hair, but I guarantee you he's probably 30 years old, And I'm guessing he's
probably
just a pro skater.
Yeah, that's safe to assume. Yeah.
Yeah, because he does his own stunts in the movie, so.
Yeah, sure. He was probably Mr. Popular in high school, and then his hair started falling out, and he's like, I can't be popular anymore.
Yep. Now, I will say there were some good squibs on the cops when they shoot them and everything, and that was kind of brutal because they're hanging upside down. They can't defend themselves, and they're just screaming as Shades kind of plugs them. So, we already out of the gate, I noticed, I'm like, okay, this movie's actually a smidge bloody, and it's going to actually get kind of violent in parts that I'm like, wow, that's kind of wild, And Andy Sidaris doesn't seem to shy away from some blood and squibs in this movie.
Yeah, the gore factor is pretty good with the early Sidaris movies. Then as we get later on, he gets more into, just the literal TNA. And it is interesting. I think I'm just, again, thinking of him going, well, if I want to get R rating, I can show TNA, but I can't show the sex scene. So I do lots of TNA and no sex, and I get a nice R. So everyone can rent, including kids. No.
You're actually, I think, fairly on point, because my understanding is this movie almost got an X rating, mainly for the violence, specifically Skater getting exploded. But I think you're right. I think he probably was like, you know what? All these effects and everything, they take time, they take money to do right, and they also could bite me in the ass. Let me just lose the squibs and the violence. And I think probably the smart play to make, but this movie has them, and I do think that's what makes this movie so fucking interesting, is because of its violence.
Yeah, I think, again, this is a very interesting movie in time when it came out, because moving forward, the emphasis became more on the sex. And look, I'm not criticizing one way or the other. It's just matter of fact.
Yeah.
They started to lose the story, and it just became about literally like a softcore porn. And that's all it was. It was like a setup to get to the next sex scene. And look, again, that's fine. But this one seemed like they were really trying to build, like, I like the plot of this movie. The plot of this movie is pretty decent.
Yeah. And honestly, even when I was younger, and I started getting older, I was like, okay, with like Skinemax movies that I would watch in the 90s, I was like, I don't want to be able to count down like, okay, boobs coming in 5 seconds. Like, that's great and all, but it's movies like this that you don't know when they're coming. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but you don't know when they're coming. You're like, oh, hey, here we go. There's some boobs right now. I'm with you, dude. I want a story wrapped around my pornography, Or should I say I want my pornography wrapped around a story? I don't know. But I like this.
So what you're saying is when you rented a porn, it wasn't the tape. You could, when you pull the tape out to inspect it as a video store employee, you could tell where they like stopped, basically where they finished, and then they returned it.
Oh yeah,
you went all the way through.
Of course, all the way through, baby. But I know that all too well. As a person who worked at a video store for 10 years, I always hated knowing exactly the part that they came.
Is this another? This is going to be a great story to share on Tales from the Video Store. But
it will. But you know what else I love about this movie? Dude, so this scene ends with like fucking a great shot of fucking Shades and his nose hairs being like, fucking take the bodies in the boat and throw them in the chipper. And then it goes, boom, hard ticket to Hawaii. And then we get the opening credits. And I was like, yes, yes. Like, it's so good, the transition. And then, never thought in my entire life, the best credits I've ever fucking seen are in an Andy Sidaris film. So, the movie, so part of the movie is this Molokai delivery service, and the credits all take place in like this delivery warehouse, and everyone's names and stuff are like stenciled on the side of like boxes, and they just do a great job of like pulling the box out with the forklift, and then the person's name is front and center right there. It's such a good opening credits, dude.
It's very imaginative. I remember when 7 came out and everybody was blowing their load over the credits, rightfully so. It's a great credit sequence. And then that same guy went on to do Fight Club, and I think he did a few with the director of both.
Yeah, the guy who did the 7 opening credit sequences, he became Fincher's guy, and basically his claim to fame is he just does those opening credit sequences.
Yeah, and it became like it became interesting again to watch the credits to these movies. That opening to Hard Ticket, it's like better than maybe it should have been, right?
Yeah. Light years better than it ever should have been.
It reminded me of Jake Speed in the beginning of Jake Speed, because his name gets like kind of blown up on a crate or whatever, like embossed on a crate, and really badass. But then they take it one step further in this one, where they literally make the credits a part of the movie. It's really brilliant. Yeah, it's really well done. It makes for an enjoyable 5 minutes.
I mean, yeah, and they do pad it. It is padded. It is about 5 minutes long of credits, but again, doesn't feel like it, because you're also kind of like introduced to the Dixon character during it too, and he's gonna come into play and everything. So it's really good, and honestly, it's worth watching for the ladies and the credits just alone by themselves. So after the credits are done, the scene in the warehouse sort of continues, and we see a heavy box labeled "Caution, Live Snake" being placed to the side. Thanks to a very awkward placement of the box, the straps holding the lid on are accidentally ripped off by a forklift. No one seems to notice, and we see a grotesque snake hiss.
It's the same snake that you could buy, I think the Horde, Masters of the Universe Horde playset with that shitty-ass snake that you stuck your hand up inside. It's a hand puppet. It's hilarious. It's hilariously awesome, actually. I think I love it because it's so bad. It's so bad that it's so unreal looking, which is what makes it even better.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, buddy. I got zero complaints about the snake.
You never complain about the snake.
Sleazy
Look,
Z.
You guys, look, this is not sexual. I have a snake for this movie. It's right here in my pants. Oh my God, he's doing it again. Get it out of your pants. No, really. It's from my son's playset. Oh, that's even worse. Get it out of here.
Cut to a beautiful sunrise on the beach, and we see Taryn running out of the water and up towards a beach house. We see Dona come tearing in with her Jeep on the grass. She gets out and is just wearing a brown sleeveless button-down shirt, brown booty shorts, and white cowboy boots. Taryn comes running up to her in her bathing suit and rinses off in the outdoor shower. She says, "These early morning hours are killing me." Dona says, "Drug enforcement agents can't afford to get soft." To which Karen replies, "I'm supposed to be soft. I'm a woman," and proceeds to take her top off. By the way, Taryn, I love Taryn. She's her energy is so much fun, and she's so bubbly and cute and fucking smoke show. She's fucking amazing. But I love Taryn, man. She's beautiful. And when I say the beautiful dum-dums, I am not referring to the ladies. I am only referring, and I will always refer to the team of Rowdy and Jade as the beautiful dum-dums, because in this movie, I'd say they are dumber than the ladies.
They're buffoons, but
Yes.
It is funny that like we can easily call them dum-dums, but maybe not. Wouldn't be great if we did the same for the ladies.
Yeah.
But Taryn is a few sticks short of a log cabin, I would say. She's a little ditzy, but man, she's great. She fills out her role really well.
And a bathing suit.
Oh yeah, that too.
And not a bathing suit because she takes her top off. Donna reminds.
If I ever feel like I'm gonna get myself in trouble, I'll just say it's a hard ticket to Hawaii. No. You must emphasize Hawaii more. Hawaii.
I've been singing it all week, much to my wife's chagrin, because, well, as you guys all know by now, I can't sing.
Dude, you know what? I say sing, dance, just do it if it makes you feel good. That song, by the way, would be a perfect fit with like "Steal Away" by Robbie Dupree,
love Steal Away.
Such a great song, or Baker Street with Jerry Rafferty.
Would you consider the Hard Ticket opening song, Hard Ticket to Hawaii? Because, by the way, there's another song at the end called Hard Ticket. This one is Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Would you consider that more of a yacht rock song?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. It's totally an homage or a ripoff or whatever you want to call it to that genre of music, like that beachy kind of chill out. Yeah, Barbados. That's another good one too. Thunder Island is a great song. Oh my god,
I love yacht rock, man. I love all that shit. I love cheesy shit. I love the hard shit, and I love the cheesy shit, man.
If you've never heard Thunder Island, I highly recommend that song.
I'll go check it out after this episode.
Yeah, Thunder Island by Jay Ferguson. If you look up Thunder Island by Jay Ferguson, first of all, the guy has an amazing mustache, and second of all, that song kicks ass.
I'll go check it out after we're done recording, man, because I usually have to take me about an hour and a half to sort of wind down, so I'll go listen to that while I'm doing it.
For this movie, I could see why, and thank you, Erin. And Erin's like, you guys are so welcome.
I know. She loves us. Between Erin and Crystal, man, you guys are the best. So thank you both so much.
Those two are sitting back right now laughing their asses off because they're like, haha, see? We exposed these fuckers for what they are. Couple of pervs.
For the sleazebag pervs, they are. Donna reminds her that if it wasn't for the arrangement, she'd be a dead woman. Taryn goes on, at least when I testified against the mob in Vegas, they threatened to kill me quickly. Donna says she didn't make such a bad deal with the witness protection program. Taryn replies, at least I'm in the islands. There we see a small little time lapse, and Donna is waiting by the Jeep as Taryn walks out of the house behind her. She's wearing the exact same outfit as Donna. Taryn says, when the feds told me I could come to Hawaii and help you keep your cover, it sounded like paradise, but you never let up. Donna says, the agency expects us to keep fit at all times. Taryn complains, but I'm just a civilian. And Donna replies, it doesn't mean you can't be buff. They both high-five at that response. And then Donna drives her Jeep out of there and tears up the grass as she goes. I was like, that's probably a rental house. And did you notice that she just like tears out of there? And I'm like, but the grass.
Yeah, I mean, and if what you were saying earlier is true, if she's a little inebriated during these scenes, it kind of tracks.
Oh my, and she's actually driving a lot of the times. Oh my God, You're right.
And flying a fucking plane too, by the way. I think those scenes are authentic. I think that was a big part of this, that they were actually flying. They really were flying. Right?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if anyone should have given her keys to any kind of plane. But she's definitely driving the Jeep because it's a convertible and you can see her. And whenever she is driving, she is tearing the place up. So that does.
She's tearing the place up, and Taryn is her right leg is just hanging out of the Jeep the entire time, every scene.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, man, this is you're not on a bicycle stopping your bike with your foot. This is like a moving vehicle, yo. We could have easily ripped it off.
Just like Death Proof, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like Death Proof.
Hey everybody, Corey here. I just wanted to let you know that we'll be right back after these short messages.
Mr. Dookie Flyswatter and
The Haunted Garage!
If you took 80s slasher movies and put it in a blender with metal and punk rock, you're gonna get Haunted Garage.
Dookie and his crew were almost like making horror movies, horror punk.
but the gag is you're in the splash zone.
There was this real fervor at the time about shock rock and how bad it was for the kids.
I look over and I see Dookie with his arms on fire.
The flashes from the rear end.
He got brain surgery live on stage.
That was the raw stuff.
You walk out of there feeling like you've maybe left the planet for a little while.
Their legacy is they were unique.
They did things that weren't being done, and they did things that were outside of people's comfort zones.
Dookie was always just ahead of his time on that.
But it really rocked hard. I mean, he had really good musicians in the band.
We didn't want it to be only this deep. We wanted it to be this deep.
It's haunted garage. That's the whole point of taking things too far.
He's an icon of the underground exploitational genre.
Punk rock god of Hollywood.
G.G. Allen, but fun.
He's like a friendly vampire.
He was LA's Peter Lorre.
You need somebody in a movie, that's the guy that you want.
He puts everything he's got into it. He made his whole life his art.
I think that the whole world should know about it.
The life and slimes of Dookie Flyswatter and Haunted Garage. Indiegogo campaign out now. DookieDoc.com. DUKEYDOC.com.
And now, back to the show. Dona and Erin pull up to the Molokai cargo business and grab 2 matching suitcases out of the back of the Jeep. Inside the warehouse, we see 2 workers accidentally put a blanket over another crate that says live snake, causing the 2 workers to sort of load the wrong one, the contaminated one, onto Dona and Erin's plane. The owner of the Molokai cargo, Dixon, walks out to the runway area to greet Dona and Erin as their plane is getting loaded. He tells them that they have 1 set of honeymooners booked to Halawa Valley and 1 snake. Erin says there's never been a snake on the island before. Dixon says, well, there is now. He tells them it's to be delivered to the Molokai Ranch Wildlife Park. Dona gives Dixon a kiss, of course, and tells them they'll see him soon. At the plane, Dona and Erin introduce themselves to the honeymooners. Erin tells them they are going to love the location. Dona and Erin do their pre-flight check of the instruments, and the planes take off. So they don't, I would say, of the setup, they don't do the best job of it, but after multiple viewings, you kind of figure it out. So there's 2 snakes that have been delivered to this cargo area. One is not poisonous, and then one is. We never find out what happens to the not poisonous one.
I know. I was world building. I'm like, was that supposed to go to the zoo? Maybe it was supposed to go to the zoo in Oahu. So. But that's what I was thinking. And then second of all, it's fairly accurate that there are snakes in Hawaii, but it's not common. Is what it's not common. And
I'm sure the snakes that are there are probably brought over, I would imagine.
Yeah. And while I was in Hawaii, I heard that I was in the island of Kauai. Red fire ants were brought over by a celebrity, and I will not share that story here. I'll share it on Patreon. But apparently I was shocked to hear the story of the celebrity who allegedly brought fire ants to the island inadvertently, and it's caused a major problem over there.
And now they're actually running rampant and shit?
Yeah, they're invasive. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah,
and
man.
So when you hear who this guy is that did that, you'll be like, oh shit, I did not expect that from that dude.
Wow. Okay. I'm excited to hear this one too, but I mean, people take it seriously, the whole I think it's Australia too. You can't bring certain fruits, certain animals and stuff into these these isolated ecosystems, you know? I mean, it's a huge fucking thing. It's huge.
Yeah.
So,
you know, these sacred places have been trashed already, and they're trying to keep it relatively, you know, for lack of a better term, pristine and authentic.
Yeah.
You know, and yet it's getting destroyed by people who have way too much money and power. And wait till you hear who this guy is. But you'll only hear that on Patreon.
So once they take off, we start seeing some beautiful aerial shots of Hawaii while the amazing Hard Ticket to Hawaii song plays. And
so good. And you guys got to listen to every word of this song. It's so bad, it's good.
Guys and gals, I'm going to drop it in right here. Back in the Molokai cargo warehouse, Dixon sees the caution sign for the contaminated snake knocked over, but can't find the box with the snake itself. He then uncovers the box of the snake that was supposed to go to the wildlife park. Dixon confronts his workers about it and realizes that they loaded the wrong snake on Dona and Taryn's plane. I like how quickly he sort of figured it out, because it doesn't take a fucking genius to figure that out.
No, but I love that it's like this janky sign on the ground, and they're like, "Hey, where's the real saw? Oh, man, we screwed up."
Oh,
allegedly this like toxic snake, it's gonna needs to be contained.
And of course, it's in like a wooden crate where you could stick your fingers in and whatnot.
The flimsiest,
yeah,
the flimsiest crate. Yep.
Before going to the wildlife park, Dona and Taryn make a stop at Hollow Valley to drop off the honeymooners. They have to hike a little ways, but Dona assures them that it will be worth it. The honeymooners ask if they will be alone on the island, and Dona tells them they will be. Dixon calls Taryn and Dona over the plane's radio to tell them about the dangerous snake, but they are guiding the honeymooners to their camp and aren't at the plane to receive the news. At the beach campsite, Dona tells the couple they will be back to pick them up tomorrow. Dona and Taryn leave the honeymooners to their vacation. Cut to a yacht on the ocean. Mr. Chang is standing on the deck by a remote-controlled helicopter. Well, one of his goons says, "This always makes me nervous, Mr. Chang. I'd always rather get them through customs." Mr. Chang replies, "The way they watch us? No way. This has always worked. We don't have to worry about customs or the Coast Guard. And the boys are paid nice and clean." The remote-controlled helicopter takes off from the yacht with 2 small packages on board. And I like that, dude. This is a cool setup, a cool concept. Because, you don't have to go through customs. They're on the open sea, so, that's not anybody's jurisdiction. And they have, spoiler alert, it's going to be diamonds in the little cases, and they're delivering it to the island on a little remote control helicopter. Now, how they can actually see where that remote control helicopter goes is obviously the problem here, but seeing as how the movie proposes later that they have pagers that are also phones, Andy Sidaris doesn't really care about technology. And I think nowadays, this is actually probably a more viable way to deliver diamonds illegally.
No, I think what you're saying is that Andy Sidaris is a futurist, and he can see into the future.
I think you're right. I think you're fucking right.
Look, guys, this is the future. You must understand. This is how we get things now. There will be this company, big warehouse, with like everything you want, from toilet paper to Game Boy game. What's Game Boy? This is 1987. Oh, don't worry, it's coming.
I don't get everything right all the time, but I'm gonna get this one right. So this warehouse,
it'll be like
you order toilet paper. Say you want toilet paper. You buy it on this thing called a computer, and then this remote control helicopter delivers you toilet paper. And you know what?
Yes.
He would be fucking right if he said all of that, because that is the future we live in. We are living in the Andy Sidaris future.
Yes, we'll call it Jungle Store. Yeah, we'll call it Jungle. How about Amazon? No, shitty name. Jungle Store is better.
Cut to the 2 goons, Erin and Skater, driving dirt bikes on the island. They both have guns, and they're heading somewhere in a hurry. We see the remote.
Skater is weighing down that bike. I'm just saying.
You mean Earring is?
Sorry, Earring, yeah. Skater is fucking Tiger King. If you guys don't know who Tiger King is, you should know who Tiger King is. This guy looks like Tiger King. God damn it, where's my skateboard and my boyfriend?
We all lived through 2020, bro. We all know who Tiger King is.
Did we, though? Or is it just a fog?
Did we really live
Did we live through it, or did we sleep through it?
Yeah, you're not wrong. We see the remote control helicopter fly over the island and land right by Dona and Taryn are walking.
I want that copter, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
me
fucking
too,
rad.
Dude. Me too. Did you ever have a remote controlled? I had a remote controlled like car, but did you ever have like a remote controlled like helicopter or plane?
No, because I feel like if you're a kid with those things, you have to have a parent kind of help you put it together. And I didn't. I went to slot car races.
Yep.
You know, there was the local hobby shops. Those were fun as hell. But no, I never. I always wanted one though. Those RC commercials are like, get the new Jeep. It's so cool. And I'm like, I can't afford it.
Yeah. I only ever had.
I'd rather have
I only ever had like one. I never had I remember in the 80s, like remote control cars were huge. There are all kinds of different ones and everything. And they even had like remote control like submarines and stuff and boats.
Yeah.
And I wanted all of that shit. But yeah, I think that's an expensive hobby to get into. And I think especially like the remote controlled airplane ones, I think that's a real expensive hobby.
Yeah, because you're using like real motor parts.
Yeah.
See inside your neighbor's window. Peep in on people. It's cool. We're not endorsing this as a peeping Tom.
The irony is that is now what drones do. So, it's
of course.
It's wild.
Whenever I see someone with a drone, and no disrespect to people who have drones, I think they're really cool. Whenever I see someone with a drone, though, I'm like, you're totally peeping on people, aren't you?
Yeah.
this is fun. It's for science.
No.
Really? Why are you at a park and you're lurking? You're lurking, you scummy people.
You perv. We're all pervs. Just be like Andy Sidaris and just fucking own it, man. Just own it.
Own it. Make a movie with beautiful women and guns. It's great.
We see Erin and Skater get off their dirt bikes. Dona and Taryn walk over to the helicopter to examine it. Dona says, "This is no kid's toy." Just then, the little door opens on the remote-controlled helicopter, and Taryn takes out 2 little containers. Just then, Erin yells, "Freeze!" while Skater shoots at them. Taryn runs towards the gunman and throws her nunchucks at Skater and hits him in the head, knocking him down. I don't think that's how you use nunchucks, but you know what? I give her props for running towards a guy with a gun and just throwing something at his head, which, you know what? It worked.
Dona's badass. She don't take no shit. She's badass.
Well, that was Taryn. Then as she does...
Taryn's both.
As she does, one of the 2 little packages sort of falls out of her pocket and gets lost in some grass. Dona now grabs a throwing star from her boot and hits Erin in the chest with it, knocking him down as he's like screaming, "Ah!" But it's like, it's barely into his skin,
The overacting is fantastic, though.
Oh, across the board, everybody, guy and girl, everybody overacts. It's amazing. Taryn runs up to Skater and then knees him in the ribs while he's on the ground. Skater gets abused in this movie, by the way. Dona rips the throwing star out of Erin's chest as he screams, and then our 2 heroes make a hasty retreat back to their plane. Yeah, it's wild.
It's one of the worst great fight scenes of all time.
Every scene in this movie is the worst, greatest of all time.
Tommy Wiseau would be like, he's watching this going, I want to do that. Why can't I do that?
Yeah, no, I think
dude,
Andy Sidaris is the king, man. He's the fucking king.
Yeah.
Erin and Skater get to their feet as the Malachi plane flies away above them. The 2 goons then run to the remote-controlled helicopter as it takes off as well. They both fall to their knees, and Skater says, "I dread facing Seth empty-handed." And then we see one of the 2 cases in the tall grass. Oh, Skater.
Oh, Tiger King.
Oh, Tiger King. Cut to Dona and Taryn landing their plane on a grass runway and sort of pulling up to their house. Dona tells Taryn they need to figure out what just happened, and then Dona says, "Let's unload and hit the jacuzzi. I do my best thinking there." The 2 ladies unload the snake box on a dolly and roll it into the hangar. And of course, I can't hear the word jacuzzi and not think of Jacuzzi from TerrorVision.
I was hiking in Hawaii, and I'm with my wife and my son, and we walked past this rock that was covered in algae, and we're like pointing it out, and I go, "What is this, algae?" And I'm like, I'm gonna stop myself. I'm not gonna say any more. Or perhaps the sex lubricant?
Just taking care of business.
The coos. Let's go check out the coos. Yeah, I know. I love this because they go into the jacuzzi and it's like, oh, we've got our bottoms on. There's this taboo back in the day. You couldn't show bottoms, but you could show tops.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get to that in a second because we do have a scene.
I jumped ahead.
Because we do have a scene at Edie's restaurant. So cut to Edie's restaurant. A blonde actress named Charlotte walks in and immediately gets harassed by Ashley, the slimy maitre d'. Edie rescues her from the sleazeball, only to deliver her to another one, Andy Sidaris. He's playing a greaseball TV director. Charlotte, thank goodness you decided to come. Charlotte, I'm not just some fast-talking New York television director. I care for you a great deal. Trust me, Charlotte. And then to which she replies, you practically raped me last night. That's where the conversation should have ended.
It should have, because I was like, oh, Harvey Weinstein's in this movie?
Yeah. And then he goes on, that was last night, Charlotte. This is today. I care for you, Charlotte. I care for your mind. I don't care about your body anymore. I'm not into that. Just then, a busty, half-naked waitress walks over and asks, may I help you? As the director looks her up and down and says, I'll have a pair of coffee. Charlotte rolls her eyes. I actually thought that was kind of funny.
It's funny, but it's so weird because it is a very comical scene, but you guys know that this is the shit Harvey Weinstein was doing.
Yeah.
To a T. And that's probably what happened the next day. I'm so sorry I did that. Let me make it up to you by putting you in my movie.
Yeah. Obviously it was probably more tongue-in-cheek back then, but in a post-Harvey Weinstein world, when she's like, you practically raped me last night, I was like, ooh, that does not play well in 2022 at all.
Oh my God.
Different times, guys and gals. This was a different time.
Of course. Yeah, 87. This is so different back then.
Yeah. In another part of the restaurant, the villainous Seth Ramiro is talking to his beautiful date. Actually, it's Rosie from later, but I didn't realize that at the time. Side note, fucking love Rosie. I thought she was hot as balls.
Agreed.
It's too bad this is the only movie that she's fucking done. Edie walks up to him and asks if everything is satisfactory. He says, superb as usual, Edie. He goes back to talking to his date when he sees Erin and Skater walk up to the restaurant and intercepts them outside. What are you two doing here? Skater says, now calm down, Mr. Ramiro. We've got some bad news. That's not how you want to start talking to your boss.
Nope.
Erin says that somebody beat them to the drop and they got away with the stuff. Seth isn't happy to hear this. He asks who they were. Erin says it was a couple of broads. Skater chimes in and says they got away on a cargo plane. Seth asks, Molokai cargo? Skater says yes. Then Seth says, if brains were bird shit, you'd have a clean cage. I'll get someone else to handle them. Get out of here. Seth then signals for the lady he was eating lunch with to come over. It's Rosie. You can tell she's in shape. That's my notes, because, yeah, she is. He tells the woman that he has a job for her. Oh, Seth. He is the worst actor in maybe the entire world. And I almost get the sense, like, I feel like on Friends, like, Joey Tribbiani's character is, like, how pretty but how dumb and, like, how terrible at acting he is. I feel like they're making fun of, like, this character, this actor, also, like, Jade, and whatnot. But these people exist. Like, this actor is real, and he delivers his lines like he does. And they are the worst delivery ever in any movie ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, it's really bad.
It is.
Bad.
It's so bad that he makes everybody else look better.
I will say the Playboy Playmates are the ones who really stand out in the acting department as well.
I mean, yeah, they are. They are the best actors in the whole movie. Aside from Dona and Taryn, I like Rowdy too. I think he has a lot of charm to him and everything.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He's a beautiful dum-dum.
He's a beautiful dum-dum, but he's a well-trained actor. But man, Cynthia Brimhall, who plays Edie, she's great too.
A lot of fun. And again, Rosie, she has a brick shithouse body, man. It's wild. It's a hard ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's a hard ticket to Hawaii. Trying to get myself out of this awkward conversation.
I just see Zach slowly, like, because we're on Zoom, his head just disappears. He's like, and I'm out, guys.
And I'm out.
Oh,
Did
buddy.
You see my parachute just exploded behind me?
You just get pulled away.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh, buddy. Here is the scene. Cut to the Malibu Express, and Rowdy and Jade are sparring on the deck. It quickly devolves into the two men doing terrible Bruce Lee impressions while mock fighting. It's bad, dude. It's really bad, but it's also, it's like, you know that like you and your friends used to do it back in the day and everything, but at the same time you knew that it was wrong. Like, you knew that you were making fun. But here, Andy Sidaris just puts it on full display, dude, and it is not kind to the Asian American community.
It's not, and this is not defending anyone, including myself at some point, who said offensive things. It's not defending that behavior at all. But you see these movies and they do it, and you're an impressionable young person, and you're like, oh, what's the big deal? You see 16 Candles and you see Long Duck Dong, and it's like, and then you start imitating that, and because you think it's funny, the media helps perpetuate the stereotype.
Yeah.
And of course, and then we did not have the tools that we have now to break it down to young people to make them aware that this isn't cool, But so back then, before we knew what we know now, we look at this shit and we think, oh, they're just goofing around, it's funny, and then you imitate it, and then it continues, and the spiral gets worse and worse and worse. And then of course that's when you defend yourself saying, I've got lots of Asian friends, or I've got lots of black friends, and and the whole thing. It was just, again, like you said, and I've said as well, it was a different time, and it's buffoonery. They're idiots, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and you also got to take into account, Andy Sidaris, he was back in '87, he was already old in this movie, you know what I mean? So he also comes from a very different time as well, and you can kind of tell his sense of humor is a bit more crude, obviously. But yeah, it's not kind, and it also makes me hate Jade more. But again, I don't hate Rowdy. For some reason, I really like that character. And maybe was Ron Moss or Ross Moss, whatever his name is.
Ron Moss.
Ron Moss, yeah.
Moss.
Maybe it's him. Maybe it's his beautiful face. I like Rowdy. I don't dislike Rowdy Abilene at all.
I think Jade is he's fine. I think he's not fine. He's just a fine actor. For what he does. He's not great at what he does, but I'm sure he had his ass handed to him in the dojo, and maybe he learned some respect. He's also reading the lines that were written for him, so he's going with what Andy Sidaris says. Don't worry, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny, and he might be like, I don't know about this, Mr. Sidaris. This isn't something I'd say in the dojo. Don't worry, it's okay. Just make joke.
And you're not wrong. I mean, yeah, the actors are just doing what they're told. So, yeah, dude, you're not wrong. But I still think Jade is a lesser Terry Silver.
Oh, yes. On many levels. On many levels.
I love that response you gave. Oh, yes. You're like, of course. Why would you say that?
Thomas Ian Griffith for the win. So.
Just then, a delivery guy in a moped drives up to the boat and delivers lunch for the boys. Rowdy opens the styrofoam container and finds a letter hidden inside the sandwich. He reads it and says, "We've got trouble in paradise, amigo." Then they light the note on fire and put it back in with the sandwich, which is weird because Jade was complaining about being hungry, and even though the note was in there, it's still an edible sandwich you could eat,
That sandwich looked good. I was like, damn, it's turkey on white. That's turkey on white bread. I'll take that shit.
I'll take that shit all day long with some lettuce and some sliced tomato. Yeah, baby, that's some classic shit right there.
Hell yeah, some mayonnaise and mustard. I use veganese. Have you ever had veganese? It's so good.
Cut back to the scene that you were excited to talk about.
Hard ticket to Hawaii. I love veganese. Let's not talk about it anymore.
The scene that you were quick to jump the gun on, and the girls are getting So all right. By the way, I'm gonna just roll back a little bit. I'm not gonna cut anything, but I'm gonna say that you were right. I think I'm missed something on my notes here on my tablet, but it was the previous scene, and I'm gonna go now and go back and finish it out with the girls in the jacuzzi.
Go back in time.
In time. So, Zach, you were 100% correct. This scene that I'm about to describe takes place before the one we just talked about, and it's the one when they're in the jacuzzi. Taryn hands Dona the remaining case, and we see what's inside. She cuts the seal and finds a small pouch of diamonds inside of it. Taryn says, "No wonder they tried to kill us." To which Dona replies, "We're in big trouble." Taryn asks, "Do you think they know who we are?" Dona looks at her and says, "How many women fly around Malachi in a cargo plane?" Taryn, making a bad joke, says, "One, Kimosabi. I'm getting out of here." Dona grabs her by the hand and pulls her back and says, "Where do you think you're going where there's no contract out on your life?" Taryn asks what they're going to do. Dona says the first step is to report to Rowdy. Taryn agrees and says they also need to call the park and have them pick up the snake. Dona says, "Let's go," and they get out of the jacuzzi. So yeah, 2 points. One, they're just topless in the jacuzzi this whole scene, which is fantastic, but they're not bottomless. And then, then next is the Malibu Express scene with Roddy and Jade mock fighting. So good call. My bad. I apologize for that one, guys.
No, it's all good. That scene is, there's a lot of extreme close-ups in that scene. I'll leave it at that. And yeah, when they're talking about the snake and they're talking about the care for the snake, Taryn has the book, a boa book. But it is a kid's book on how to take, like, the history of boa constrictors or something like that. Yeah. It's like a children's book that you would get at your local library. Support your local library, by the way.
Because, Dixon hands it to them earlier, and he's like, make sure they get the feeding and care manual, and it's just a colorful, hardbound children's book on boas. And you're like, okay, yeah. So now the Malibu Express scene happens between Rowdy and Jade. They know there's trouble in paradise. Cut back to Dona and Taryn's place on Malachi. The girls are getting ready for bed. Dona comments on the fact that Taryn has a Malibu Express poster in her room and a
7 poster.
Yep, she also has a 7 poster as well. And then she has another spy-themed poster framed and waiting to be hung. I couldn't tell what that was, but it was also beautifully painted, like all the other ones. Dona looks at the Malibu Express poster and comments that they haven't heard from Cody since he left the agency and became an actor. Taryn asks if Cody and Rowdy are cousins. Dona says, yeah, they're both adorable, but just a little bit flaky, i.e. beautiful dum-dums. Taryn then says, tell me the truth about Rowdy. How's his stuff? She says, great. He's got 4 inches. Taryn says, that's not so hot. Dona says, yes, it is. I'm measuring him from the ground up. The girls laugh and Dona gives Taryn a weird side noogie thing. I don't understand her joke. What is she? She's measuring from the ground up.
So
it's 4 inches off the ground. So it's
from the ground. Yeah, off the ground.
Oh, is that it? Like it's 4 inches off the ground, essentially.
Yeah. So it's a gigantic dick.
Okay. All right. That wasn't the best joke because I did not get that at all.
No, it didn't land very well. But at the same time, too, I'm like, this is Andy Sidaris going, don't worry, yeah, that's how I am. Well hung for the ladies. I mean, my wife. I'm married to my wife. I'm committed to my wife, right? Right?
Yeah.
Just make the movie and make some money, fucker. Yeah, the scene is funny. I just marked out on the fact that they had a 7 poster in Malibu Express. I'm like, this is cool that they're like totally, it's like meta, right? In a way.
Yeah, no, I dig it. He's creating a universe. So Malibu Express is connected to this one, but then I guess they're proposing that they made a movie based on whatever happened in that movie, but it's also in the world of Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It really happened. And then moving forward, I know like Picasso Trigger is a part of things and stuff. I give Andy Sidaris mega props for all of this, having like the idea to even create this kind of stuff and keep it sort of all connected. It's a really cool idea. And we're all in agreement. I think the reason 7 is so hard to find is because the Brad Pitt movie probably crushed it, right? Like they're like, no, you can't have that name. It's us now.
Oh yeah. But again, you can get it the Blu-ray on Kino. So
Okay.
Highly recommend that via Amazon or their own website.
So 7's the only one that isn't put out by Mill Creek, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think it probably had a different distributor when it came out in 79.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably something different. Because I know he took the money that he made from, like, the profits from Malibu Express, and then he made this with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if 7 was had a more traditional path, maybe through a studio or something like that, you know?
I think so, yeah.
Taryn says she's going to put the diamonds in the freezer. It's, after all, it's ice, isn't it? And she winks at Dona, and I just love Taryn. I think she's great. We see someone cut the phone line in the house. Then Dona picks up the phone, but gets, no response. She doesn't hear the dial tone. After Taryn puts the diamonds in the freezer, she's attacked by a woman in a mask with nunchucks. Dona doesn't hear because the attacker covers Taryn's mouth. Dona hangs up the phone and yells, "Taryn, let's get out of here," because, she knows something's up. She gets no response, so she looks around the house but doesn't find Taryn. Just then, a guy in a mask attacks Dona and shoves her against a wall. The attacker asks where the diamonds are. She plays coy with him, and he pulls out a knife and shows it to her. "Don't get smart with me. Now, where are they?" Dona says they're in the hangar. The guy grabs her hand and takes her outside to the hangar. Back in the kitchen, Taryn is fighting with her female attacker by the fridge. How did Dona not see them? She has Taryn against a wall and is threatening to hit her with nunchucks, but Taryn won't tell her where the diamonds are. In the hangar, the masked assailant shoves Dona over a table while he looks for the diamonds, but doesn't find them. Dona takes the opportunity to deliver a crushing karate chop to him and knocking him into the contaminated snake box, knocking it over and releasing the reptile inside. Dona makes a break for the house while the guy is on the ground, but he quickly recovers and chases after her. We see the snake slither out of the box.
And go into like a sewer.
Yeah, well,
right?
That'll get that in a second.
Oh, it's not there yet.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I tracked it. Don't worry, I tracked all the snake's movements. Even when it, it ends up at the other side of the island and then comes back,
Yes.
In the kitchen, Taryn is trying to hold out, but the female pulls a gun and puts it to her head and asks where the diamonds are again. This time, Taryn says they're in the freezer and is forced to give them to her. Taryn tries to get away, but is chased down by the female goon just as Dona runs back into the house. The female goon points the gun at Dona and tells her to stop while she has Taryn in a chokehold. The male goon catches up to Dona and grabs her. Taryn yells, "She's got the diamonds!" The female goon says there is only one box. The male says if you want to live, they better come up with the other box. Dona says, "You won't kill us. We're the only ones that knows where the diamonds are." The goon says, "Tell us, or you'll wish you were dead. For release." He's terrible. Chemo's terrible. And the scene gets better. Outside, we see Seth Ramiro holding his gun and standing by the car. Just then, he sees the snake by the plane. Guys and gals, it's about 30 yards away. And completely loses his fucking shit. He starts screaming, "Oh my God, a snake, go away, go away," and shoots a full clip, but never hits it. The goons inside hear the gunshot and release their captives, saying they'll go back to they'll be back for the other box. When the goons run to the car, the guy Chemo trips over the drain cover in the yard, knocking it off the drain. He quickly says he's okay. I guess I'm okay, and catches up to his female compatriot. Inside, Dona grabs her pistol from beside her bed and runs out yelling, "Those bastards!" with Taryn in hot pursuit. At the car, Seth is yelling that he can't believe what he just saw. I mean, he's saying, "I can't believe what I just saw. I can't believe it." So it's almost as if he saw a leprechaun. Dona runs up to the plane.
It is a mutated snake.
Dona runs up to the plane. The snake's gone at this point. Takes careful aim. Yells, "You son of a bitch!" And in one shot, shoots Seth in the face. The female thug pulls him into the backseat of the car, while the male thug drives away. Dona says, "I really lost it, didn't I?" But the ever-supportive Taryn says, "No, you were great." Our heroes then go out to the hangar and discover the snake is gone, and we see it slithering through the grass. Oh my God, Zach. So much to unpack in this scene. One, Chemo so basically the male and the female goons, Chemo and Rosie, they're wearing, the stockings over their head. It's not a good look for Chemo. It makes his eyebrows go up even higher, and he can't deliver a line to save his life. And I think it's made worse by the fact that he's mumbling through those. And then on top of it, you have Seth, who is the villain of the movie, completely lose his shit at the sight of a snake, shoot at it and miss, and then get shot in the face himself with one shot by Dona. Bro, what am I supposed to take away from this scene?
Well, first of all, you can take away the fact that Dona is kind of like a poor man's Jamie Lee Curtis at this point, where I'm like, oh, you kind of like, she's up on that level. I'm not going to deny it. She's got that kind of scream queen quality about her. And she's definitely vocal fry before vocal fry was even a thing, by the way. It's Dona. And then I wrote down that Seth, to me, looks like a Henry Silva and John Saxon had a love child.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I see that.
Because, minus the acting chops. I mean, this scene is like gloriously bad, but but there's so much shit going on at once. It's like they packed 20 minutes into maybe 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. And I mean, we're shitting on it, but at the same time, it's not bad. I mean, it's so bad that it's good. It is literally the example of something that is so bad that at this point it's charming and good.
I think that just the problem was they're trying to pack so much in, thugs trying to get diamonds from them by cutting the phone lines to start, and that should have been it. That should have been just the whole sequence. But then they throw the snake in there, and they got Seth, the leader of all this. Why would he be there in the first place? But they got him in there, and it's like too many things all at once, which is what makes it comical. If they minused a few things out of that, it might have been a little bit more like genuinely good. But it's a funny ass scene. When he gets shot in the face, it's just so dramatic about it. And that's I think you calling that out made me realize most of the dudes in this movie are terrible shots. It's the women who are great shots.
Oh yeah, and
so
actually,
maybe Sidaris is like, oh no, it's women empowerment movie. Yeah, right.
No, I mean weirdly, it kind of is. I don't know. We're both two white male dudes trying to talk about this. Maybe we'll talk to hopefully talk to Erin about it or something. But yeah, like there is a running gag that Rowdy can't hit anything, and it's something that persists through the entire film, which I actually enjoy, and that Dona is a good shot. And yeah, she fucking nails Seth right in the face, And yeah, if this scene was played more like not as weird with fucking Seth freaking out, like, I can't believe what I just saw. Like, he's telling these people, he's so excited. Literally, you would think that fucking aliens came down from a UFO, walked out, fingered his butthole, and then went away. And he was like, can you fucking believe what just happened? And everyone's like, it's just a fucking snake, dude, But he got shot in the face. But if it was normal, it wouldn't be memorable. And this scene is so memorable.
Isn't it funny, by the way, that when anyone ever says they were abducted, it involves some sort of ass play? So they rather would admit that they got abducted by aliens than admit that maybe they're doing something that would be quote unquote sinning against the Lord.
He doesn't love a little ass play. You gotta get a little ass play
it's
in there.
It's hard to get
to It's not paradise all the time.
Oh, it's not paradise. Oh, the first time wasn't paradise. The second one was a little bit better.
It gets better. It gets better as you go along. Cut to Dixon on the phone with someone about Dona's phone being out of order. He tells the person to keep trying. It's a matter of life and death. He hangs up the phone and tries reaching the girls over the plane's radio. Dona
By the way, really quick.
Yeah.
Has he been sitting at that fucking phone for 8 hours?
Yeah, he's dedicated to his job, man. He's trying to track them down and help them out, man.
I think he wants another kiss from Dona is what it is.
I mean, how
about a kiss?
Of course. Dona and Taryn
I just want one kiss. What's the big deal?
Dona and Taryn hear Dixon in reply. Dixon tells her to listen carefully. We had a snake delivered here for the Department of Health. Now that snake has been infected by deadly toxins from cancer-infested rats. Oh, you know that Andy Sidaris was like, this is gold. It's a very dangerous snake. It will kill anybody it comes in contact with. He goes on saying, my loaders made a mistake. You've got the wrong snake. Dona tells Dixon they don't have the snake. It got loose. Dixon tells them to be careful. He'll get back to them. He hangs up the radio and then calls the Department of Health while Taryn and Dona go back to the house and secure it.
Topless. No, they don't.
Back in the house, Taryn hands Dona a broken picture of her dad. The glass is cracked from the tussle. Dona looks at it and says, my father was the best agent this government had. He died saving my life. I want to see that backstory.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. She then says, when I make mistakes like I did tonight, I feel like I'm betraying him. Taryn says, Dona, your dad would be proud of you. You hit that creep in the face with one shot. Not bad. Of course, James Bond would have shot all three. But hey, who's counting? Dona laughs. Right. Then he'd casually stroll in here and jump our bones. To which Taryn replies, yup, me first. Taryn then says, pals, and they do a high-five handshake thing. Dona says, let's go to Edie's and call Rowdy. Oh, buddy.
Well, is this also, maybe it was earlier in the movie, Taryn was talking about her love of James Bond.
Yeah.
And then Dona mentions, like, which one, and she's like, all of them, one at a time, or something like that. I'm like, whoa, this is Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so there's an ongoing gag.
Hard ticket.
There's an ongoing gag that Taryn just loves spy stuff. She loves James Bond. I kind of didn't track too much of that dialogue. What you're referring to is when they were doing the pre-flight check on the runway and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of James Bond talk in this movie. I think Andy Sidaris has the heart on for James Bond, and Taryn is his mouthpiece for this movie.
I would have James Bond pull a train on me. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, come on, line up. Roger Moore first, because I heard he has a small penis. Why do I sound like Insult the Comic Dog or whatever?
Well, that makes sense, too, because he probably can't, talk about his man crush on James Bond, but he can write it coming out of Taryn's mouth,
Yep.
Dona and Taryn walk into Edie's restaurant wearing full dresses and their hair is done. Dude, it is 80s up. It is 80s hair, guys and gals. It is wild.
It's wild. It's great. It's classic 80s. This movie has classic 80s style. Hawaiian style.
It does. And they look drop dead gorgeous. Let's be honest. Like, with those two huge blonde hairs done up the way they are, they are showstoppers.
Yeah. Donna's like a total hair bear, 80s style. And in many ways, at first I'm like, she kind of looks like Paul Stanley from Kiss with blonde hair. Because she's kind of manly looking in that way, but not in I mean that in a complimentary way.
Huh. You want me to keep this, buddy?
No, she doesn't. It's not that bad. She doesn't look like Paul Stanley, but I will say, well, it's sort of. I don't know.
Don't ruin my fantasies, man. Don't ruin my Paul Stanley fantasies.
It's no longer a hard ticket to Hawaii.
It's a flaccid ticket to Hawaii. Of course, Ashley.
Pop a little pill and it'll take care of it.
Of course, Ashley, the maitre d', immediately sleazes all over them by saying, I'm going to give you the best seat in the house, right here on my face. Dona says, Jesus, is this what it was like for women in the 80s? And I just, from all the guys in the world, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And ditto, guys. Gals.
Dona says, why?
But he's funny.
He's not terrible, but yeah, it's terrible. Dona says, why? Is your nose bigger than your dick? Taryn then says, Ashley.
Good comeback.
That's actually not bad, yeah. Taryn then says, Ashley, we love you. And of course, it's also that era where, the guys could be total sleazebags, but the girls go, oh, you're so sweet. We still love you.
And this shit's going on all the time.
Yep. Oh, yeah, for sure. for sure. Pretty much up until what? The Me Too movement of like 2020, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Then Donna asks where Edie is. Ashley points them to the private booth in the back of the restaurant. Donna and Taryn pull up a seat next to Edie and order some drinks. Donna tells her they have to talk, and Edie reassures her that no one can hear them. We see a blonde female bartender suspiciously watching them. Donna asks if Edie has heard of anything about some diamonds in connection to Seth Ramiro. Edie reminds her that the agency only uses her as a contact. There's very little they tell her directly. Donna says, I just shot Seth Ramiro in the face. Edie's slack-jawed. Taryn tells Edie that they need to reach Rowdy, and Edie takes them to her office. As they leave, we see Jimmy John Jackson of the Southern Cable Sports Network walk in and start talking to two football players at a table. He orders a glass of water and pulls out a bag of daily vitamins and supplements. Jimmy John starts talking about each one before he swallows them all at once. Now, I didn't track what he said, but I gotta say, the actor, Wolf, he does a great job of delivering fast lines without stumbling over like his tongue and everything. And my understanding is he grew up in Germany, so I don't think English is his first language. And he's awesome, dude. I love how he delivers his lines.
Yeah, I do too. And the whole time he's talking about his vitamin supplements, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. Yep, that tracks. That's good for you. Yep,
yeah.
That's good for you too.
Yeah,
I'm like, he's totally making sense. And then he says something like he misses soul food or something like that.
Well, then one of the football players gets a milkshake delivered to the table because there's two football players sitting there, but they're really just big beefy boys. And the milkshake comes, and one of them who has the milkshake says, "Man, I sure do love soul food." And then his pal agrees and watches him eat his milkshake with a spoon.
And I'm like, that's not soul food. What the
know.
fuck? And I have a feeling those are legit football players, by the way. I have a feeling they are.
I have a feeling they were just beefy boys on the beach that they brought in to just say one line because they look also like dum-dums.
Well, no, look, I'm sure... I got a feeling they really are, but it is a moment where I'm like, why I miss soul food? How is that soul food? It's a milkshake?
And honestly, nothing really comes back. Like the Jimmy John stuff, like Jimmy John has a point in the movie, but there's a couple scenes with Jimmy John that are pointless. This is one of them. It doesn't go anywhere. No, like supplements don't come into play anywhere else in the movie.
No, I mean, this movie probably could have trimmed 10 minutes off and would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
If not better.
Yeah, agreed. It could have cut this and Jimmy John's interview later as well, and it would have probably flowed even better. At the bar, we see the bartender connect a listening device to the phone to hear the conversation the girls are having with Rowdy and Jade. Cut to the Malibu Express, and Rowdy and Jade say they heard that Seth's men took out 2 Molokai police officers. Jade chimes in and says that the police stumbled on a full-fledged drug operation. Rowdy adds, Seth is definitely playing hardball in your backyard. Donna says, Taryn and I are living proof of that. We see the bartender listening. Rowdy says, you're also our proof that Seth is directly involved. I want both of you to stay with Edie tonight. We'll be on the first flight in the morning. He continues, I want you to go out to Seth's beach house tomorrow and have a look around. Diamonds or no diamonds, you're sure to be on his hit list now. Rowdy tells Edie to stay at the restaurant. It's business as usual, otherwise Seth might suspect something. He finishes the conversation by telling them that they will bring their trunk of toys. Jade picks up the phone and says, Hey, Edie, speaking of toys, I can't wait to see yours. Everyone laughs, and Taryn says, what a stud. They hang up the phone, and the bartender disconnects her earpiece from the phone. What a stud because he made a gross remark?
It is Jade.
I hate Jade.
I wrote down that he's a poor man's Dolph Lundgren, so there you go.
Okay. And
actually, maybe not a poor man's, just he's a Dolph Lundgren.
Touche. Listen to our Dark Angel, aka I Come in Peace, to get our thoughts on old Dolph, and Brian Ben, who we love and adore.
The show stealer versus the show killer?
Yeah, I was gonna say, not showstopper, because that's a good thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, look, guys, come on. He's not that great of an actor. I love Dolph, but he's not a great actor. And Jade and Dolph are kind of on the same level.
They really are. I would probably say that the reason Dolph was even famous is because he was blonde, and Jade's yeah, that's guys and gals. Blonde hair is a thing, you know.
The whole blonde thing. I never obviously I'm not a blonde, but I never got the, like, if you had blonde hair and blue eyes, you were golden. And if you could act a little bit, you're golden in Hollywood back in the day. Look at how many generic type people, like we were talking about, and she's not generic, but I'm talking about the actor from Dead Heat. You know, it was like that cardboard cutout kind of thing. And it is what it is, you know. It just was like, well, that gave you a little notch in the belt as far as casting was concerned. But, you know, for this one, well, actually, both female leads are blonde, so there you go.
Yep, there you go. At Seth's place, Rosie is cleaning the wound on his face while Chemo watches. Seth says, "How does it look?" The guy, Chemo says, "It just grazed him. A little plastic surgery and you'll be all right." Rosie, the clearly level-headed one, says he needs to see a doctor, but Seth says no. The phone rings and Chemo answers it. He says it's Michelle from the bar. Seth tells him to take a message. At Edie's, we see Charlotte get up and leave a table where the sleazy director and Jimmy John Jackson are sitting. The director, Andy Sidaris, says to JJJ that at least they have a couple of ball players they can interview tomorrow. Edie, Dona, and Taryn walk in together after leaving the office, and Edie stops them. She asks Taryn if the sports reporter, Jimmy John Jackson, is a special friend of hers. Taryn says he's the first civilian she met after she got her new identity. He said he was going to call her when he got to town, but their phone isn't working. Ashley brings the busty waitress over from earlier and introduces her to the director. I think that's Patty Cakes. I think.
Yeah, that's Patty Cakes.
Okay.
Patty Cakes.
Oh, Patty Cakes.
It's not offensive. I like Patty Cake. Baker man, yeah.
Well, I think her name is really Patty in real life. Like the actress's name is Patty. So, and she's got cakes. So, you know, it works.
She's got cakes and muffins and all sorts of stuff.
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii. She drops off his coffee. Then Ashley says to him, "Hey, Whitey, you go." She leaves, you know. Ashley says to him, "Hey, Whitey, you go down on her. You're going to be kissing the back of my head because I'm already going to be there. I think you know what I mean." I was like, how could he not know what you mean? You kind of spelled it out for him.
Oh, God.
I know. Edie walks off with Donna as Taryn walks over and talks to Jimmy John Jackson. She gives him a kiss and says hi to Whitey. "Hey, Whitey,
so bad.
You go down on her, you're going to be kissing the back of my head because I'm already going to be there. I think you know what I mean." We all know what you mean, you asshole.
Jesus. "I'm going to go make a sandwich with peanut butter and jelly, if you know what I mean." You're going to make love? No, I'm making a sandwich. What? Just no.
Fucking Ashley.
This stuff writes itself. You have to understand.
It does.
Writes itself. It's so good. It's so good. Look, I sit at typewriter. I close my eyes. I just put my fingers on keys, and whatever comes out is what we put in the movie. It writes itself. Look, it writes itself. It's so good. So good. Gold. Freddie Mercury could not write this for Bohemian Rhapsody. What?
Do you think this movie's a first draft? Like, do you think there are multiple drafts? It's first draft, right? Out of the gate.
Roll camera, action. And whatever came out, came out. It's hard to get too high. What the hell are these guys smiling about?
What is that so smiling about? Oh God, so good. Oh, I love Fort Fairlane.
rest
R.I.P.
in peace,
Gilbert
Gilbert
Gottfried,
Gottfried.
man.
Aw.
All right. Now this is wild. Cut to Taryn and Jimmy John Jackson walking on the beach in their clothes from the night before. So the daytime, nighttime shit is really hard to track in this, but I tracked like the time of day it is, and you'll see. I tracked everything except for the James Bond dialogue. I was like, no. I'm not tracking this,
No,
Darren.
it's not
You
worth
idiot.
That's the part I literally wrote that part. That's the thing I wrote down.
I know.
I'm not going to track that.
I know. Andy Sidaris is rolling over in his grave because I didn't track the fucking James Bond dialogue.
Come on, it talks about my love.
But this whole scene has the cheesiest fucking music I've ever heard. Ever. It's like Three's Company, but even cheesier. It's so weird. I'll just briefly
the score
describe.
Is not great.
Yeah, this part is not great. So Taryn takes off her dress, and the two of them start making out. This leads to a sex scene on the beach until sunset. That's the entire notes. It's a 5-minute scene. It's not very attractive. Taryn is wearing a very 80s thong thingy. And music that's playing during this whole scene is horrible.
Yeah, it's really like not what I would call a love scene. It's bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's no From Here to Eternity, as far as sex scenes on the beach go,
It's no Terminator.
James Cameron knows how to fucking make a passionate sex scene.
Woo! Sorry, that wasn't the score. The score for it was dun 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 dun. It's the same theme, but just slowed down just a smidge, played on piano.
Yep. Oh, dude, it's burned into my memory, my friend. But so note that this scene also it ends on the beach at sunset. Okay. Cut to a shot of the contaminated snake at night slithering through the grass while ominous music is playing. I say that because I had the subtitles on and it says ominous music. Cut back to the beach at sunset with Taryn and Jimmy John Jackson in the cheesy music. Taryn tells JJJ that ordinarily she isn't this easy, to which Jimmy replies, I was about to say the same thing. She says, you're too much, Jimmy John. He jokingly says he isn't really Jimmy John. He's really a British secret agent. Taryn says, I thought so. You give great secret service. And Jimmy John replies, all in the line of duty. Tea and crumpets and like that. Tea and crumpets in like that. That's a direct quote. I don't know what it means. Then Taryn's beeper goes off, and she talks into it, ? Dona is on the other end and asks what she's doing. Taryn says she's merely the receptacle for Jimmy John's desires. Oh, Taryn, have some self-worth. Then Dona tells her to come back home. She's been there all night, and they have work to do. That's like, what time is this? Is this dawn then? Taryn says she'll be right there and puts the beeper phone down. So yeah, it was nighttime, daytime. The editing is wild in this movie.
No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No, I'm like Tarantino before Tarantino. I do everything out of sequence.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
We see a small plane land at the local airport. Then we see Rowdy and Jade carrying 2 trunks together as they walk up to the Jeep Edie left for them. I love how they place their trunks on the ground and then get in the Jeep, like as if they're going to leave. Who fucking loaded the trunks, The
flight attendants, I guess, right?
Cut to Jade driving the Jeep while Rowdy rides shotgun. They're driving through Malachi Ranch Wildlife Park. Jade says he's anxious to see Edie because she's awfully fine, unlike his first wife. He then proceeds to say, my first wife used to mow the lawn stark naked. Rowdy asks what his neighbors said. They said I married her for her money. Rowdy cracks up laughing. Just then, Jade says, hang on, Rowdy. We got some nutcase in front of us. We see Skater ride past them going the opposite direction while doing a handstand on his board. Rowdy says he must be smoking some heavy doobies. Dude, that's a pretty, he is doing that. The guy who plays Skater is doing a handstand on his skateboard, and he goes past them as they're driving. That's impressive.
Yeah, Tiger King's no joke.
No.
Tiger King's a stud.
He is. Although at one point he kind of like angles himself like he looks like he's going to go right into their Jeep. And I know that wasn't on purpose.
Whoa, cut.
I was like, oh no. Jade and Rowdy keep driving while Skater and Erin meet up at the bottom of the hill. So, all right, so just know that Jade and Rowdy are kind of driving up a long hill, like an upward incline, you know? Skater jumps in the back of this car truck thing that Erin is driving. It's like a Subaru car, but the back is converted into a pickup.
Yeah, it's like chopped.
Yeah. For some reason, there's a blow-up doll in the passenger seat.
I mean, why not?
Why not? Erin and Skater drive past Jade and Rowdy. Then when they're at the top of the hill, Skater jumps out of the car truck. Erin hands Skater a shotgun, and Skater also grabs the blow-up doll.
You got to take care of your own.
We see Skater riding his skateboard down the street at Jade and Rowdy. He's holding the blow-up doll in front of himself and the shotgun sticking out from behind. So was the idea that he was trying to just cover up the fact that he had the shotgun?
Sure.
Okay. I literally just put that together. I guess that's what he was doing. Because if you saw him coming from a distance with the shotgun, you'd be like, oh, look, there's an asshole with a shotgun. I will pull over. But you can't really see the shotgun because of the blow-up doll.
You're like, no, there's an asshole with a blow-up doll.
Exactly, which clearly is not a threat.
Yeah, he's not a thug. He's a pervert. It's okay. Just keep going.
He's a pervert. He's a fucking pervert.
It's okay. He's harmless.
Yeah.
Except for like women and small children.
Yeah. As they pass by, Skater shoots and hits Jade in the chest, wounding him. He also hits the car too. I kind of didn't track it here, but it comes into play later.
It's good makeup effects.
Yeah. I mean, Jade has a shot, like, right, he has a heart shot right into his chest, but he's fine. Don't worry about it.
He's Jade.
He's Jade. Jade slams on the brakes, and Rowdy asks how he is. Jade says he'll live. Rowdy says, let's get that turkey. I want to bring back turkey, by the way.
Do you? Really?
And he grabs a bazooka from the trunk they were carrying when they got off the plane. Jade punches the Jeep in reverse, and they run right into Skater. He, like, screams and spins around.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. He screams and goes flying in the air with his blow-up doll. While in the air, Rowdy blows him up with the bazooka. He then blows up the blow-up doll. Jade says, the bazooka, Rowdy? Rowdy says, it's the only gun I can hit a moving target with. Rowdy puts it back in the trunk, and they drive off to the hospital to get Jade patched up. Rowdy says, I can't believe that shootout. Jade asks, I wonder what happened to the skateboard. Rowdy says, I think I let it get away. And we see it roll down a hill towards the ocean. And I put R.I.P. Skater. As they drive away, we see smoke coming out of the Jeep. And you know what? I got to give Andy Sidaris props for actually shooting that, like shooting the skateboard rolling down the street, you know?
It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
And the award for best supporting prop goes to skateboard.
Goes to skateboard. Dude, this scene is one of so this is the scene that like I taped it off the TV, like I held my phone up and I taped it and I sent it to Bert and everything. Like this is the the scene that doesn't have any nudity, but perfectly describes what Hard Ticket to Hawaii is. It's fucking insane, but amazing at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole thing is so weird. Or not weird. The whole thing is just so bonkers. And thrown at parts. It's like thrown together. Maybe they thought up plots on the spot to carry on the script. Probably writing the script on the fly at times. Yeah. Who knows? But it just, they pull it off though. They pull it off. It's enjoyable. This is an enjoyable movie. TNA aside, it's a fun, silly movie to begin with.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. TNA aside, that's the reason you come to it. But the reason you stay is because the movie is fucking fun from beginning to end. It doesn't slow down. Every scene is batshit insane. Like, you would think they would get like one scene, just out of pure luck, one scene would be normal. But no scene is normal. Every scene is fucking batshit insane, and that's what makes this movie just pure gold, pure cheesy gold.
Totally agree.
Hey everybody, Corey here. I just wanted to let you know that we'll be right back after these short messages.
Hello!
La la la.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Corey.
And we are the hosts of Cartwright, a Seinfeld podcast. We are breaking down every single episode of Seinfeld as we watch it, reliving this amazing show.
That's right, it's a trip down memory lane for all of us 90s kids out there. You can find Cartwright, a Seinfeld podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and Patreon.
La la la. Have you been wondering where's the beef? Well, on our podcast, Throwback Trivia Takedown, you might just find that out, as well as some other things about the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
We're a nostalgic-based trivia show that pits two challengers head-to-head in a duel of the decades, with categories ranging from movies, TV, and music, to slang, food, and fashion. You're sure to get the best in retro-themed trivia.
So strap on your jelly shoes, grab a Surge, and walk like an Egyptian to your favorite podcast app and check out Throwback Trivia Takedown.
I heard even Mikey likes it.
I'm John, and I'm the host of Action Action. Every week, I'm joined by James.
Heyo.
And Dustin.
Hello.
And each week, we review, debate, and rank a different action movie.
We're creating the ultimate list of action movies. From awful to awesome.
So if you want to hear three more white guys with beards talk about action movies.
And argue about where they belong on our list.
And decide you hate us because we made fun of your favorite movie.
Join us every Tuesday, and you can find us on your favorite podcatcher.
And Steven Seagal is a joke.
And now, back to the show. Cut to the two honeymooners that Donna and Taryn dropped off earlier. The husband is taking awkward pictures of his wife on the beach with a Polaroid camera. It's so awkward. She looks awkward, and if you look at her IMDb credits, this is her only movie. She probably was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, I have to say, too, like, if this movie came out maybe 5 years later, there would have been more than just a photo shoot, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, she looked really uncomfortable, and it is, like, one of the few moments in this movie where I'm like, I don't know if that's acting.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Unfortunately.
And maybe there was supposed to be a sex scene here, and they cut it, and I'm fine, because I felt bad for the girl, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
while he's taking pictures, the contaminated snake attacks them from the woods, and they scream.
So this is a monster movie, too, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it actually is.
It's a monster movie.
Which is kind of cool. That's kind of fucking neat, man.
Yeah.
Cut to the hospital, and Jade is walking out of the ER shirtless with a giant fucking bandage on his chest. Like a giant square bandage. He tells Rowdy that he has some bad news and some good news. Bad news is, again, quoting this exactly, bad news is, doctor says I'm going to be sore for a while. Good news is, there's a great-looking nurse in there, and she was extremely helpful. How helpful? Well, she kept me in stitches. Rowdy smirks at this one. He didn't quite laugh at this one. He says he's going to make a phone call. But, like, Jade always does this, like, thing where he's like, he says his line and he kind of moves his head and then looks at Rowdy for, like, either approval or a laugh. It's just, he does so many head motions.
Yeah, it doesn't even get me singing. I'll just simply say it's a hard ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's all this one is, guys.
That's all he's going to get for that.
Yeah. Cut to Edie's restaurant. Edie is talking to a patron in the bar. The phone rings, and the female bartender answers the phone. She
Michelle,
tells...
right?
What?
It's Michelle, isn't it?
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, you're right. Michelle answers the phone. She tells Edie that it's a man named Rowdy, and she put the call to her private line. Edie picks up the phone and the bartender listens like she did before. Edie tells Rowdy she thought they'd be there by now. He tells her they're at the hospital. The good news is they are fine, but the bad news is the Jeep died. Rowdy goes on, I must say, the greeting party lacked a little of the aloha spirit. Edie tells them to stay where they are. She'll pick them up. Edie tells the bartender, Michelle, that she's going to step out and have Ashley look after things in the restaurant. Edie walks into the back office, and we see her take off her dress, of course, because she couldn't go out there in the dress she was wearing.
Cynthia Brimhall.
At the pool, we see the busty waitress, which I guess is Patty Cakes, who Whitey was keeps hitting on, so she's swimming in the pool. Cut back to Edie putting on a pair of pants that, really emphasize her camel toe. It's wild. She goes out to her car and drives out of the parking lot of the restaurant. Cut back to the busty waitress getting out of the pool. Cut to Michelle, the bartender, calling Rosie and Chemo and telling them to pick her up in 5 minutes. She goes back to the ladies' locker room and runs into the busty waitress. Again, I think that's Patty Cakes, who tells poor Michelle that she's missing her shape, meaning Michelle is missing her shape and needs to exercise every day to keep her breasts firm. Of course, she's topless when she's saying this. Keep firm, Michelle. Good breasts are a great asset. Michelle, in a thick Southern accent, says, "Thanks, honey. I needed that." Once the locker room is clear, Michelle takes off her wig to reveal she's a man. And then Michael takes off his makeup and leaves the locker room.
Undercover.
That's right.
And to be honest with you, too, I didn't suspect that at first.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie, maybe bits and pieces of it when I was a kid, probably. I did not expect that kind of plot twist, and I was like, "Whoa, that's cool!" And props to Michael. He pulled off playing Michelle fairly well.
And props to Andy Sidaris. There's no gay jokes. They don't actually ever make fun of like cross-dressing or anything like that. This is taken completely seriously, and I think it's fine. I thought it was actually kind of cool. I liked it.
They make Michael one of the deadlier antagonists as well.
Yeah, exactly. Outside the restaurant, a van pulls up with Rosie and Chemo inside. Michael tells them Edie is on her way to the hospital and they can cut her off. We see Edie driving down the road with her convertible top down. The blue van speeds up next to her and forces her off the road. Michael and Rosie jump out of the side of the van and grab Edie and pull her in. The blue van speeds off with Edie's car sitting there by the side of the road. Cut to Taryn and Donna in bathing suits on the beach. Donna pulls out binoculars and Taryn has a video camera.
It's a great video camera, by the way. It's like a giant yellow Sony, like those waterproof Walkman cameras. It's amazing. I'm like, where did this ever exist? I want one of those.
Yeah. No, and it's not, and for 87, it's not very big either. Like, it's actually quite like handheld. It's really nice. I actually kind of dig it.
Yeah, me too.
They watch as a girl plays frisbee on the beach with her dog. The same girl starts throwing the frisbee at Shades, who's holding a machine gun and some kind of like, he's got like a walkie-talkie headphone thingy on with a giant antenna, but he's clearly standing guard. And we do find out that this is like basically in front of Seth's place. Taryn says, that guard over there is wearing a walkie-talkie as well as a gun. He's got a freaking Uzi.
Yeah.
He could probably call in an army. Donna notes that he takes his frisbee throwing very seriously. Donna takes the video camera from Taryn to get a better look at Seth's house as a helicopter comes in from a landing. And I actually like how Donna, she's like, how do you zoom in on this? And Taryn's like, it's right here, just zoom in. And then the actual film camera zooms in. And I was like, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. I like when they
explain sort of like what you're seeing in like, or I like when you sort of hide the movie camera also is at the same time the camera the characters are looking through too.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand this movie lingo. Action, Cut. What are these words? What do they mean? Caveman lawyer.
Yeah. I was wondering where you were going with that. In the back of my head, I was like, is he doing unfrozen caveman lawyer? I will never disapprove of an unfrozen caveman lawyer reference.
The answer is yes.
That was prime Phil Hartman, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah. What other dead comedians can we reference tonight?
Dig up. Again, R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, what a bummer. If you want to hear our take on that, listen to Podcasting After Dark, Wrap Up After Dark, coming soon on Patreon for this month.
So like we were saying, Dona zooms in with the camera, and we see that Seth has Edie captive. And then now they cut closer to that, away from Dona and Taryn, and Seth says to Edie, I understand you've been sticking your nose in my business. Edie says she doesn't know what he's talking about. Seth tells them to take her in the house. Dona says the guy on the left sure looks familiar, referring to Michael/Michelle. Terrence says they need to find a phone and get Rowdy and Jade here fast. At the hospital, Rowdy and Jade are just standing there in the parking lot like a bunch of doofs.
Like they've been there for 2 hours.
Yeah, like literally.
The car should be here any minute.
like literally, Jade is just like a statue. He's just like staring off, Rowdy's wondering where Edie is. He's getting worried, so they decide to hitch a ride.
By the way, poor Edie. Like, she gets traumatized.
Oh, yeah.
She's fairly innocent in this whole thing. She gets a bigger part as these movies continue, but and obviously so does Taryn. She's like part of the group. She's no longer a witness protection thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she does a good job at being the, quote unquote damsel in distress.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she gets traumatized first by Seth and then later by Jade. So, yeah, she can't really catch a break.
Exactly.
As they're driving back, Dona and Taryn spot a house and drive up to it in hopes of using the phone.
By the way, again, Taryn likes to leave her leg dangling out of the Jeep. I just want to point that out. Don't let your leg just dangle out of a Jeep, ladies and gentlemen.
And again, I'd like to point out that Dona likes to drive on the grass when there's a driveway right next to it. And again, I feel bad for the people who own that house that they rented it from to shoot this.
Oh, and this, again, tracks the backstory.
Yep. Yeah. She might have been swigging a little before getting behind the wheel. Guys and gals, don't drink and drive.
Yeah, I'm glad that ultimately this story has a happy ending, but goddamn, that could have been horribly bad.
Yep. While they're walking up to the house, Taryn gives Dona a dime for the phone call. Dona says, "A dime, Taryn? Yeah, let's go." What's the joke? What the fuck was that?
There is no joke. But I just wrote down, I love Dona Speir.
I do too. Oh, God, it's a hard ticket to Hawaii, man.
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii.
Inside the house, we see it's a sumo wrestling dojo, ? I don't know if that's what they're called, but that's what I call it. And two wrestlers are fighting. Taryn says, "Let me handle this. Like my favorite British spy, I happen to be fluent in many foreign languages.
Oh my God.
I can communicate with people from all walks of life." Then Taryn starts speaking in some kind of bastardized Spanish dialect.
It's terrible.
The subtitles even say she's speaking gibberish to the two sumo wrestlers, while Dona just uses the phone behind them. The two wrestlers just stare at her like she's got a third eye.
It's embarrassing, first of all. Second of all, this scene didn't need to happen at all. There was no reason for it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Again, another 3 or 4 minutes could have been trimmed off, or 2 minutes. And go back to the first point. It's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. It again, it's another 80s cliche that we fortunately, apparently not, because I guess there's some stuff in the Moon Knight series that people are starting to get upset about, the way the Mandarin dialect is used.
Oh, okay.
They're like, that's not Mandarin. But so maybe we haven't figured it out yet, Hollywood, but it's so embarrassing. It's just like, oh God, she's quote unquote the Chrissy from Three's Company, like in that kind of role. But second of all, it's like, you don't need to make her like kind of come off like an idiot. Like, oh, I'm going to make fun of another language. This is silly. This is kind of stupid.
It almost like it reminds me when Kramer on Seinfeld will like speak Italian, but it's not. It's just gibberish, and they're like, "Oh, that's Italian. It's a joke. We're making fun of their language." It's like, well, that's their language, Like, where's the joke there?
Yeah, and then I guess we all know that Michael Richards is racist anyway, so there you go. I'm kidding. Am I kidding? Or am I serious? I don't know. We'll just have to ask the man himself.
There you go.
My ex-wife dated him.
Really? No shit. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know you have a beef with Mark Ruffalo. You guys actually have a real beef.
No, not necessarily.
But I didn't know that she also dated Michael Richards. Wow.
And was like BFFs with Matthew Perry.
Wow, so you're Eskimo brothers with Michael Richards. That is wild. That is fucking wild, bro. Wow. Guys and gals, I'm learning this for the first time on air. That is wild.
Many layers to that onion.
Wow. And go of course, listen to Cartwright, a Seinfeld podcast that I host.
The more you peel me, the more you'll cry.
I know, buddy. That I know. That I do know.
It's hard. Why the hell are they smiling so much?
Don Cleveland. I love you, Don Cleveland. On the phone, Donna is asking Ashley if Rowdy or Jade are at the restaurant. She says when they show up to send them out to her place. It's urgent. She then asks if the bartender, Michelle, is working. She goes, I thought not. Thanks, Ashley. Donna hangs up.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, she knows them. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, she figures it out.
Yeah.
Donna hangs up the phone and talks to Taryn. She says, the guy at Seth's house. I hate the word Seth. I hate the fucking name Seth. Seth. Fuck. I'm going to have to keep this in because it's a joke now. She says, the guy at Seth's house is the bartender at Edie's. I recognize the cigarette in his left hand and his pinky ring. He was put there to spy on Edie. Taryn says, so the girl is a guy and the guy is a plant. Donna adds, that's why Edie's surveillance of Seth wasn't working. Michelle was tipping him off. Donna and Taryn leave the sumo dojo. And this, I like this. And again, they don't call him gay. They don't berate him at all for that. To them, it's just he was undercover. And I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool they did that.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's the one thing this movie does right.
Yeah. Well, when she said, I recognize he had the cigarette, and I'm like, what? And then she says the ring, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because he's not doing some fucking Kaiser Soze thing here, you know what I mean? Like, he's just holding the cigarette like normal. He just happens to be left-handed.
Yes.
As Donna and Taryn drive away, Donna says they have to pick up the honeymooners, and she's really worried about Edie. At the campsite, Donna and Taryn find the dead bodies of the two honeymooners.
This is great.
Yeah, the girls are so over the top in this scene. It's hilarious. This is the most. Oh my God, Taryn! Oh my God, can you believe? It's wild. It has to be seen to be believed, but it's the most overacted scene I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's classic.
They also find the Polaroid camera the husband was using to take the awkward pictures of his wife with. They check the last photo that was stuck in the camera, and as it develops in front of their eyes, they see the snake in the picture. They both say, oh, we gotta get out of here, and they both go running, and we see the snake slither in the tall grass as the girls leave the campsite. It was right by them.
It's so great. It's like Larry Cohen, guy directed this stuff, had a leftover prop, and he's like, hey, Larry, do you have any leftover props from movie you make, like Q the Winged Serpent?
From Q the Winged Serpent?
Larry's like, I don't know. And then he asks his son, you remember that He-Man toy you're playing with? Yeah. Can I have it? Okay. Yeah. Andy, I got something for you. Oh, you're the best. Click.
I remember that play set, by the way, with the fake snake and everything, and and I remember the what was it, Snake Mountain, where it had the voice thing you could talk into and whatnot. Oh man, He-Man had the best play sets ever.
Odie's got that still. He's got the Snake Mountain and it works.
Oh, cool.
But the snake for that the Horde one, it was notorious for apparently falling apart over time. Just the plastic eroding. So kind of like the snake in this movie.
That's right. I had the slime pit. Oh yeah. Pro tip: don't ever put Moss Man in the slime pit. And another scene that could probably been dropped, but I also still kind of love it. Cut to a newscast being filmed at E's restaurant, and it's hosted by Jimmy John Jackson. He's covering the pro football meetings, the quote-unquote pro football meetings, and is interviewing two players from the Dallas Steers, Don Merriman and Billy Blue Shoes Marvis. Love both of those names. Jimmy John asks Don Merriman what he said to his teammates in the huddle before a big play they made last year. Don says, "All I said was, N-words go deep, and white guys keep them out if you can on two." Of course, he doesn't say N-words, he says the actual words.
Yep.
To which Blue Shoes replies, "Jimmy, this motherfucker is crazy, but he sure can throw." Then he looks to the camera for approval, because Blue Shoes looks at the camera all the fucking time. Jimmy John signs off, then slams his head against the table, and everybody laughs. Because, of course, it's a live broadcast, and, they just said the N-word and motherfucker. Ashley comes running up to give JJ shit and says, "Your future is behind you, baby." Fucking Ashley just rolls around being a giant piece of shit at all points in time.
Always.
Then he fucking high-fives the football players. Andy Sidaris, as the TV director, comes running in, acting very dramatic and saying their careers are over. But what was the point of that scene, though, for real?
There's no point in that scene. I guess it's to give Triple J a little bit more depth to his character, but it's a meaningless scene.
100%.
I have this feeling these dudes are the reason I think these dudes are like legit NFL guys, or like maybe they're the second string or something. They're filming this movie, and the Pro Bowl was probably in town, and these dudes just rolled up, and they're like, "Hey, we'll get you some drinks. If you want to do like 2 lines in a movie, would you do that?" And just make something up on the spot.
And whatever you do, don't look at the camera, right, Blue Shoes? Don't look at the fucking camera.
Right, Blue Shoes? And Blue Shoes is like, "Can I get another blue Hawaiian, please? Can I get?"
Exactly.
And Andy's like, "Whatever they want, give it to them. I don't care. They're NFL, big, we can market this." No, you can't.
From the Dallas Steers.
By the way, Dallas Steers, kind of cool name.
Yeah, actually, I agree. I do agree with that. Outside, we see Rowdy and Jade arrive at the restaurant carrying their trunks of weapons.
Which is so funny because I feel like they hoofed it all the way over there.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Ashley greets them at the door. When Rowdy asks him where Edie is, Ashley says he hasn't seen her since he got in today. He then tells them Dona called and it's urgent that they have to get out to her place. Rowdy says, "Ashley, my friend, I'm going to steal your car." I love that.
I love that line.
Yeah, I do too. He takes the keys. Then Ashley says, "A little petrol won't hurt that car either." Back inside, Andy Sidaris runs up to Jimmy John with good news. They lost the satellite feed during the interview. That means they still have their jobs. Whitey, Andy Sidaris, tells JJ that he has to go interview a female golfer by the name of Muffy Fremont. But JJ says, "No, Whitey, she's so dumb. She went home early to study for her PAP test."
Oh, my God.
And then literally the scene ends with just like Whitey, a.k.a. Andy Sidaris, just like hanging his head down, like as the punctuation.
For her PAP test? Come on.
It's bad. Guys. Folks.
Oh, this is funny. It writes itself. See? It writes itself.
It writes itself. It really does. Andy, it really does write itself, doesn't it?
And no dickhead like Ashley is going to say petrol, by the way.
No.
Petrol? No.
No, that reminds me of something out of like Mad Max, They
It's
in
British.
Australia.
It's the British. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember BP? Remember BP? I think they're out of business now.
Yeah.
BP, that gas company,
Yeah.
fuel company. They had some oil spill and killed like millions of wildlife, probably. that whole thing was like, petrol. We're bringing petrol to America. People are like, oh, is that a new kind of gas? No, it's fucking gas, you idiots.
Just gas.
Oh, but it sounds fancy. Can I get some? Sure. We're going to charge you $2 extra for it. I don't care. It's fancy.
Yeah, BP always was a bit more expensive, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was good. It was gooder gas.
Gooder gas.
It was gooder gas.
Get her done.
Well, but does he talk fancy? No commercials. What do I sound like? Roscoe P. Coltrane.
I love me some Roscoe P. Coltrane. I grew up on Dukes of Hazzard, my friend. I grew up on that shit.
There was on their plane ride back from Hawaii, there was a guy in the plane who had a t-shirt on that said Cooter's Garage. And I was like, I want that shit.
Oh my fucking God, are you serious? That's fucking awesome. That is fucking awesome.
I should have asked him where he got it. I'm sure you can, search it.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
Cooter's
Yeah.
Garage.
Woo! Crazy Cooter coming at you sideways. Oh, fucking love Crazy Cooter. Love Bo and Luke Duke. Fucking love Roscoe P. Coltrane, baby. I grew up on that shit.
Stars and bars? Nope, don't like that.
Whoop,
nope.
nope.
Backtrack. It's a hard ticket to Hawaii.
I love it, dude. I love that we're using the song to cover our asses. Oh, so good. And again, thank you, Erin. Thank you so much. This movie is
Erin,
fantastic.
whatever positive or, more to the point, negative feedback we get, it's all on you. So thank you. I'm kidding.
Cut to Donna's place at night. Outside, we see the snake slither towards the open drain cover thingy that fucking Chemo, tripped over the other night.
I seen those in Hawaii. I've seen those. So
okay.
I saw one the other day. Actually, after I saw this movie, I saw one out at a shopping center. I'm like, oh, that's a real kind of drainage thing. Okay, cool. With like the bucket in there or whatever.
And you tripped over it and you quickly got up and said, I'm okay.
I did. And then someone threw a Frisbee at me.
There you go. With razors.
Yes.
Inside the house, Rowdy, Jade, and Taryn are cleaning and prepping their weapons while Donna is on the phone. She says to the other person on the line, I fixed the wire myself with tools. No, Dixon. So she's talking to Dixon. And then I love this because he ripped it off from Aliens. She goes, no, Dixon. I have never been mistaken for a man. Have you? And then she laughs and hangs up. It's like, okay, so we're just directly stealing lines from Aliens at this point.
Pretty much. And that kind of tracks from what I said in, never mind.
Outside, we see the snake go into the drain.
Ba-dum-bum.
Now, keep in mind, the snake was just down by the beach killing the honeymooners, about probably earlier in the day. So it followed the plane all the way back.
It's a smart snake.
It is. You know what? It might be. You know what? I'll give it that. Donna tells the gang that the health department hasn't found the snake yet, but according to their calculations, the snake's own toxins will kill it within the next 36 hours.
Easy out.
But it won't be that easy.
Nope.
At Seth's house, God damn it, I hate the word Seth. At
Suffering Thuckatash.
At Seth's house. At Seth's house, Edie is tied up, and Seth, Erin, and Chemo are standing around her. Seth says that people who cross him have a bad habit of disappearing. Then he asks forcefully where the diamonds are. Edie says she doesn't know.
And she doesn't know, guys. She doesn't know shit.
She really doesn't. Back at Donna's house, Rowdy says he has a plan to rescue Edie, and dawn is the best time to do it. He asks to look at the footage Donna shot, and she says it's in her office. Jade tells Rowdy to look at the tape while he keeps getting the weapons ready and fills Taryn in on what's expected of her. Donna says, Taryn, you're a civilian. You don't have to do this. Taryn says that she doesn't let her friends down. She's in. Donna smiles and nods, then takes Rowdy into the office to look at the footage. At Seth's house, Seth says that Edie needs an attitude adjustment, and Rosie is real good at that. Back at Donna's house, Taryn loads an Uzi and then asks Jade if he wants a drink. He says vodka, and she says, oh, you want a martini? But Jade says, just hand me the bottle and a lemon peel.
Oh, God.
He says as he holds the bottle, "This is the way I like my martini. Vodka, medium dry, lemon peel, shaken, not stirred." He pops the lemon peel in his mouth and he shakes the bottle, then takes a swig. He says, "What do you think?" Terrence says it works for her. Spies should do their own thing. "You're Charlie Chan, right?" He says, "Si, senorita," and hands her the bottle.
Oh, God.
"So you're Charlie Chan, right? What does that mean?"
I mean, this follows up with her doing, like, you know, a bad Spanish thing earlier, like speaking Spanish to sumo wrestlers. Is she, like, confusing, like, Spanish, the Spanish language with Asian people? Is that what's going on here? Whatever it is, it's horrible and it's racist. It's what it is, ultimately.
It's just racist.
Yeah,
Guys and
it's just
gals,
racist.
It's racist.
And it's fucking stupid. Like, and it perpetuates so many things, you know? And it's, I don't know. I mean...
And Jade's the fucking worst at all points in time.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren, not cheap Dolph Lundgren, but brunette Dolph Lundgren
there you
is,
go.
you know, downing vodka. And, like, come on. That's just... Clearly, they're not supposed to link up, you know?
Yeah.
But... I just, I don't know. That scene really bugged me. Any scene that involves alcohol really bugs me because I'm like, what's going on behind the scenes too? There's some shady shit going on behind the scenes.
And you can tell that wasn't water, like, put into a vodka bottle. Like, that was vodka. Like, he just, they were like, no, we're just drink the vodka, you know?
No, it's just, yeah. I mean, look, again, like you said, if Andy Sidaris was helping out Dona Speir by taking her to, you know, rehab or whatever, and who knows what sort of other enabling things were going on set.
Yeah.
Who knows? Is the 80s some wacky shit?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I could have had Dolph Lundgren, but I settled for this guy. What do you say your name was? My name? No, I just called you Jade. But isn't Jade? No. You're Jade.
You're
Shut
Jade
up and act.
now.
Shut up and look pretty, okay? Drink. I'm not enabling.
Oh, speaking of pretty, low key, buddy, Rosie, my man. So at Seth's house, Rosie does like a sexy intimidation dance with nunchucks or something. I don't know if this is for Edie's benefit or who, but fuck, bro. She has a fucking, oh my God, she's fucking banging body, man. And she's fucking brick shithouse thick too. THICC, all muscle, but like that, the perfect amount. Rosie, woo, yeah.
Well, he does this in his movies, in his future installments of like muscle-bound women and men. In fact, he had a former wrestler, Buff Bagwell, this guy, in one of his movies. And, you know, when wrestlers would be in a movie, they would be like Hulk Hogan's in No Holds Barred and Ultimate Warriors in this low-budget movie. And then they're like, no, we're not going to mention the movie Buff Bagwell is going to be in because it's not for kids.
I like Rosie better than, who was it in Skin Deep, like Zap or somebody from who was it, Zap?
Yeah,
from
I think so.
From American Gladiators. I like Rosie better. This is her only movie. I think she could have had a career, dude.
She's a female bodybuilder, yeah.
In Donna's office, she shows Rowdy the video they shot of Shades and the girl playing Frisbee at the beach. She tells him they play Frisbee every day, and Rowdy says he can use that. Rowdy tells Donna that the guard's name is Shades. The agency has a file on him. Roddy says he's the one that pulled the trigger on the Malachi policeman. Hold on. Policeman.
Sorry.
Yeah, I fucked that up. Yeah.
No, you should keep that. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I'll keep it. For you, I'll keep it. And then
the policeman?
The policeman.
I love it.
But then the question is, how the fuck do they know? Like, how they know who pulled the trigger on it when, you know, the bodies were never recovered?
They don't know, dude.
Exactly.
It happened like the same day they were coming down there. They didn't know.
I do.
Continuity. Who cares? Tarantino did this.
I do love how Donna starts unbuttoning Rowdy's shirt and asks, "Did you know what was happening here when you asked me to stay in Honolulu?" Rowdy starts unbuttoning her shirt and says, "Yeah." To which Donna replies, "You can't control my life." Rowdy says, "I don't want to control your life. All I want to do is suck the polish off of your toes." They kiss. At Seth's house, Rosie walks up to Edie, and I do love the look on Edie's face. I do think that's legitimate. Like her jaw like falls open when she sees Rosie. You know, she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I think it is authentic.
I do too. Rosie tells Seth that it's 7:00 and Mr. Chang will be expecting a call. Seth tells Rosie to do whatever it takes to make Edie talk. Then he leaves. Rosie tells Chemo and Earring to leave too, and they do. Rosie then yanks on the rope and pulls Edie to her feet, then punches her in the gut as the camera cuts while Edie is like sort of screaming. I was like, oh my God. And it cuts to Rowdy moaning as Dona gives him what looks like a tit job. We see shots of Jade and Taryn laughing cut between Rowdy's moans. Taryn says she'll go turn up the stereo. In the office, Rowdy tells Dona she's the greatest. I mean, she gave him a tit. I mean, that's what it was, right? It was a tit job, wasn't it?
I'm assuming that you're right, but at the same time, she's just laying there like a dead fish. She's not moving.
And he's moaning, but her head isn't like in her. Like her boobs are by his penis, so that's why I assume that's what's happening.
It's such a weird, uncomfortable. It's kind of uncomfortable scene.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. It's not sexy. It's very uncomfortable.
Yep.
In the office, Rowdy tells Dona she's the greatest. She tells him to keep it down, but he replies, "No, I like it like that." They make love in Donna's office. And this sex scene, not very attractive either. Just like the one on the beach, neither of them are very sexy or erotic.
I choreograph every single scene in this movie. And then it cut to his ex-wife. Yeah, he's not good in bed.
Yeah, and he sucks in bed. If this was like,
you know what, dude? You know what would be funny is like Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show mockumentary style, but on like Andy Sidaris.
Yeah, no, because I picture that. Like he's saying, no, and then literally like slam cut, to his wife in a different, interview session, and she's like, yeah, he's terrible in bed. So, and that's why I love that. Good one.
Dude, that would be funny. Really funny.
Afterwards, Dona asks Rowdy how he feels, and he says, "One man's dream is another man's lunch." To which she replies, "You son of a bitch," and they kiss. So is she his lunch? Is that what he means?
I mean, is he supposed to be a dick? Is that what's going on here? Like, one man's dream and another man's lunch?
Sadly, I don't think that was supposed to be a dickish comment. I think Andy Sidaris thinks that was funny. It makes no sense, and it doesn't sound great.
One man's dream and is another man taking a dump in a toilet. How about that?
Sure. But the question is like, what is she? Is she his dream or is she his lunch?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, what?
Yep, exactly. I know, buddy. I know. It's a hard ticket to
It's a hard ticket to I'm uncomfortable with this discussion.
Yeah.
We're digging ourselves into a grave.
You made me snort.
Aaron, it's all your fault, Aaron. Erin, you want to be in my next movie? It's going to be good. Yeah, we'll shoot it in, the Keys.
Dona and Rowdy meet back up with Jade and Taryn in the living room. Jade says, "That must have been some kind of video." And Rowdy says, "We stopped for a bite to eat." And Dona hits him in the stomach and everybody laughs. Taryn says, "You shouldn't chew your food so loud." And she cracks up. At Seth's house, he's on the phone with Mr. Chang, who has a muscly goon behind him, cracking his knuckles the entire scene.
And I just want to interrupt you really quick and just point out one thing, because I don't think we mentioned it. Mr. Chang is a white guy, British white guy. Yeah. This gets fixed or explained in a minute.
It does. It gets explained in the last 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, so that being said, up until that point, I'm like, this is an interesting choice, Mr. Chang, and it's clearly this white British guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where are we going with this? Sumo wrestler speaking Spanish. Charlie Chan reference, but he's doing like a British. I don't know. I mean, what is going on here? This is what is going on when all these scenes are being figured out. This is Andy. Oh, it's a great scene. Yeah.
I was going to say, lots of cocaine, my friend. Lots of cocaine. I can only assume.
Don't worry. We have rehab van down the street for you. It's okay. and the morgue. We have also an ambulance to take you to the morgue if you die.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. We got it all figured out. And something to cover it up with. We love you.
Mr. Chang says to Seth, I trust you received your payment. We need another shipment. Last time your courier came up a few kilos short. Seth says he'll correct that or he'll take his hand home in a bag. Oh, the dialogue's so clunky. Mr. Chang.
Oh, but he's also this is the birth of Cobra Kai. I'm just going to say.
There you go. Mr. Chang tells Seth that no one must interfere with their plans. Seth says the agents are everywhere, to which Mr. Chang replies, have no mercy, kill them all, and they hang up.
No mercy. Okay, so we're referencing marijuana as kilos? Is that what we're referencing?
No, I think that's cocaine. Well, yeah, I guess. No, you're right, because I guess it's kilo of marijuana?
Up to this point, there's never been a reference to cocaine.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah, they're talking about marijuana, so I guess...
Kilos of marijuana?
Okay.
I've never heard that. I mean, I watched Narcos. They never reference kilos.
No, they're like ounces and grams and eighths. I mean, because I smoke all the time, so that's how I know them, but not kilos. But okay. Yeah, good point, buddy. I didn't even fucking put that together. Good fucking point. So yeah, okay.
And then the fact that does Seth get paid in diamonds? Is that
I guess so. So like they must be delivering a massive amount of weed in order to be getting paid in diamonds.
This weed must turn you into a fucking altered beast.
It turns you into a skateboarder that can do a handstand and go down there because he's smoking a bunch of doobies, according to Rowdy, who clearly has never smoked a doobie in his life.
Wouldn't that be funny if they cut the skateboard at I don't know, Margaritaville with propped up in a chair and there's two women on either side of him, and there's a big punch drink, with a straw going into the wheel.
And Skateboard's living his best life now that Skater is dead and he's on his own. Yeah, dude.
And a young Tony Hawk comes in, he's like, "Hey, you're so cool, Skateboard."
Bro, I am on board for the skateboard story fully, man. I am down for that one.
If Steven Kostansky, if you're listening to this, please make Skateboard story.
Please do.
Or put it in Psycho Gorman Part 2. If
they could make Rubber into a movie, then you can make Skateboard into a movie.
Clearly.
But it's not a horror movie. It'll be a positive, uplifting film.
A kid's movie.
Yeah. Now that he's broken free from skateboard, from Skater, the fucking is his Jesus.
And then everybody would speak for him. They're like, we know you were caught up with bad people back in the day, Skateboard. We know you're trying to be an upstanding citizen.
You're good now, though. You're good now.
Skateboard, I trusted you.
Now that Skater's been exploded in the air. Back at Dona's house, we get a montage of the gang loading their weapons. Rowdy has a Frisbee with razor blades on it. Then he says, tomorrow we kick ass and take names. Hey everybody, Corey here. I just wanted to let you know that we'll be right back after these short messages.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim.
And I'm Dean.
And we're the hosts of Talking Back. We're a retro-based podcast covering movies, comics, video games, and more.
Check us out every Monday where we hit the rewind button and dig into some of our favorite content from the past. We like to keep things fun, lighthearted, and informative.
Do you feel like you need more nostalgia in your life? Then check out Talking Back. We're available everywhere podcasts are found.
Hello everybody, I'm Adam.
I'm John.
And every week we are giving you a blast from our past.
We are the podcast that brings you full-on movie breakdowns, TV show reviews, album reviews, top 10s, and more, all from the things of our nostalgic past.
So please join us every single week on the Blast from Our Past podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. However you listen to podcasts, you can find us, and we would love to have you take a trip with us to the land of nostalgia.
And now, back to the show. Fade into a beautiful Hawaiian sunrise. We see Rowdy get out of the water in a Speedo, and he's holding a surfboard with a bag attached to it. Hey, man, Rowdy's a good-looking dude. I'm not going to hate on it, man. He looks good in that Speedo. I'm going to give him props for that.
Damn, I wish I could rock a Speedo like that.
Yeah, dude. Me too, man. Me too. I'm not going to take nothing away from Rowdy. He hides the surfboard in the grass and puts on a shirt and takes the duffel bag that he has a gun in, and it's like the booby trap frisbee's in it as well. Shades is watching the girl throw a frisbee around and signals for her to come over. Rowdy catches up with the frisbee girl, and real quick, did you notice the little jump when he jumps down the hill when Rowdy kind of does this like, hey, he got a little jump.
I thought you were going to freeze me in that. I thought it was going to be a free shot.
Not gonna lie, it was kind of cute. I was like, I kind of like that. So Rowdy catches up with the frisbee girl and asks her if it's okay if he runs along the beach with her. She says, sure. They run up to where Shades is standing guard, and he asks, hey, Colleen, who's that turkey with you? Again, turkey. I love
turkey.
it.
And it would have been funny if Roddy went, come on. Oh, man.
That's good, buddy. That was good. That got me.
Thank you.
She says, he's just a thrower. Shade says to Rowdy, sorry, Buster, you aren't allowed here. Take off. My God, Buster and Turkey. Rowdy tells him to lighten up. They're just throwing. Shades wants to see what Rowdy is made of, so he tells him to throw the frisbee. Shades catches it and whips it under his leg and then throws it back. He seems to approve since he turns around and puts his gun and headset walkie-talkie on the ground.
This is so good, though, because they're like, Shades is really trying hard to throw some like championship frisbee throwing action.
Oh, yeah. While Shades' back is turned, Rowdy tells Colleen to get lost. She says, what do you mean? And Rowdy shows her the gun in his bag. He tells her he means it and throws her frisbee down the beach like she's a dog. As she is running after it, Rowdy says, Colleen. She turns around, says, you've got a great ass. To which she replies, so do you, Pilgrim, and runs off. Fucking Colleen, bro. She can hold her own, man.
I love it.
I do too.
Part 2 with Colleen.
I do too. So do you, Pilgrim. Oh. Shades turns back around, ready to throw the frisbee with Rowdy. They throw a regular one back and forth, then Rowdy, not so slyly, swaps it out for the one with the razors.
He swaps out the like red frisbee or orange one with a black frisbee.
Yeah. And then he says to himself, this is for the Malachi police. And he throws it in slow motion at Shades. Shades holds out his hand to catch the frisbee, and the razor blades cut off his fingers and then embeds itself into his neck. Shades goes down gurgling, and then Rowdy makes a hand-pumping motion and runs off, while Shades dies choking on his own blood. You know, we don't usually see the heroes in our movies dispatch people so gruesomely, but Shades died pretty fucking horribly.
He sure did. He did not go down like he did not go down gently like most side killers do typically, at the hands of a good guy. He went down hard.
He went down with a hard ticket to hell.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a hard
Vince
ticket
McMahon?
to hell.
Shades, you're fired.
Back at his hidden surfboard, Rowdy is changed into pants and a tank top. He calls the gang on his own personal beeper phone thingy. That is my notes exactly. Rowdy tells him to come down to the beach. He grabs his gun and runs off. Cut to Dona flying a personal hang glider moped thing. I don't know what they're called, but I've seen them before where they're kind of like a hang glider, but they have wheels and a motor and like kind of a propeller, right?
Yeah, AKA I want one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. It looks like it's really her flying this thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It does. She flies overhead while Rowdy jumps into a Jeep Taryn is driving, and Jade is riding in the back while holding the bazooka. The shot is very well coordinated because Dona flies right over the Jeep, like perfectly in frame. I actually rewound it, and I was like, this scene, this one particular shot is very well done because everyone hits their marks, and a million things could have gone wrong, but they do. Did you notice that? I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was really impressive.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of goodness put into this movie. You know, we're really trying to make a movie here, guys.
I mean, I always give them credit. They're shooting on film. You know, it's not like in the 90s where everything becomes fucking, video and shit. Like, at least they're still shooting on film here, you know?
Yeah. I mean, this is like, something that Jack Horner would make in Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, exactly.
This is a real thing. I'm an actor. Okay? You make pornography, sir. I do not make pornography. I'm an actor. I'm an actor. Let's just go, okay? Let's just go.
I love Boogie Nights. You and I saw that, what was it on the it was like a rooftop on top of a...
Downtown LA.
Yeah, downtown LA on top of a parking garage. It was really cool. That was really neat. That was fun.
Yeah, here in LA, they do a lot of those cool, outdoor screenings, but they do rooftop screenings in downtown LA. And we saw the Boogie Nights there, the Warriors, I think, at one point. And yeah, I mean, I can watch Boogie Nights. We will get to that movie at some point. Corey and I will probably split double duties, breaking down the movie in halves. You'll do one half, I'll do the other, because they're so hard. But my God, that movie is gold.
Yeah.
Every single line in that movie. It's probably one of the best written films of all time. And it didn't win an Academy Award for any of that shit.
Fuck the Academy.
That's why the Academy sucks.
Fuck the Academy. Fuck them. Like, yeah, Will Smith banned for 10 years, but, we can hand out, like, Academy Awards to Roman Polanski and shit after the fact that we all know that what he did. No, go fuck yourself. The Academy can go fuck itself. No one gives a fuck anymore about Hollywood. It's fucking over, man. Just fucking go die. Just go rot and die.
It died for me when they gave the Best Picture to Forrest Gump over Shawshank Redemption.
Fuck Forrest Gump.
What?
I hate fucking Forrest Gump.
No
that
way.
Movie sucks my balls. Fucking hate that movie. I hate that movie with a fucking passion.
It's hard to get to
I love it. All right, back to our ticket. Rowdy tells Taryn to drive through the fence while Dona drops noise grenades to flush them out.
She drops noise grenades
on them. on them. Hold on. She drops them on the good guys. They got to get everyone away from Edie.
Noise grenades. I've never heard of those before.
Dona drops the grenades, and it goes off just as Taryn blasts through the fence. The Jeep pulls up to the house, and everyone jumps out. Taryn seems to have fallen out, but turns the mistake into an action roll as noise grenades explode all around her. Did you notice that? Like, it's not an action roll. She, like, falls and then sort of turns it into a roll.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's clearly a goof. Like, she didn't mean to.
Yeah.
But she pulled it off.
She did. She recovered. So you got to give her
this
props.
Is gold.
It's gold.
Yeah,
Jay,
totally.
gold.
Mad props.
Rowdy gets into a shootout with a lone guard who takes out the tires of their Jeep while Rowdy, true to character, can't hit him for shit. Jay takes the guy out in one shot, then chastises Rowdy for not practicing. Jade swaps out his rifle for the bazooka. Dona finishes dropping her grenades and lands the glider. Taryn takes cover behind a small wall while Michael shoots at her. In the house, Jade is held at gunpoint by a lucky guard that finds him. Dona makes her way to the Jeep and grabs a gun while Rowdy busts through the front door of the house. This distracts the guard and Rowdy kicks the gun out of his hand. Jade hands Rowdy his bazooka and tells him the guard is his to deal with. They square up to fight while Rowdy runs off. Jade says, "Life's a bitch and then you die," before kicking the shit out of the guard. Outside, Taryn moves to another spot of the wall, and when Michael shoots at where she used to be, Taryn pops up and unloads her Uzi on him. Great squibs on Michael. He takes like fucking 5 hits, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is a great action scene. I mean, great by B-movie standards, you know? It's a lot of fun.
I know what you mean. I mean, dude, it is great, man. It's a lot of fucking fun. I don't give a shit. Because if there was no squibs, it would have sucked a little bit. But no, there's fucking squibs, and it's fucking awesome, you know?
You remember when Rob Zombie started using those CGI squibs? Oh, that was so cool.
Oh, God, I hate CGI squibs.
Rob Zombie, I think, was one of the first horror directors I saw using that. And I'm like, oh, this is great.
And like, the practical person in me is like, I totally get it, right? Because when you shoot somebody with a squib, it ruins the shirt. So if you have to do another take, you have to reset and everything. I totally get why you would do the CGI stuff. But at the same time, it fucking sucks. I love a good squib, dude.
It sucks.
And you know who does the best squibs? Verhoeven.
Yeah, he does. He's the king of squibs. And you know who doesn't? Rob Zombie.
Yep, exactly. Back inside, Jade is still fighting the guard. When the guard breaks Jade's bead necklace that his mother gave him, he puts on a pair of metal bear claws and fucks the guy. Yeah, fucks the guy up. The fight
That's why I'm like, Jade's not that bad. Jade's not that bad.
This is my favorite. This is like my favorite Jade part. The fight ends with Jade having the guard in like this neck lock and saying, and then you die. And then he kind of like with both hands rips the guy's fucking throat out. I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's wild.
It's awesome.
It is.
Hell yeah, Jade. Dolph Lundgren never did that shit.
Nope. Sure as shit didn't. Rowdy eventually finds Edie tied up in the house. Edie signals to Rowdy to look to her left, and we see Chemo hiding behind a door. Chemo fires a couple rounds at Rowdy, who's hiding behind a couch. But Rowdy pops up with his bazooka and blows Chemo away. Like out the window. It's awesome. Again, it's awesome. Then he smiles a huge grin at Edie. It's wonderful. Jade walks in and says, nice shooting, Rowdy. You're improving. I do like their bromance. Rowdy tells Jade she's all yours. Jade looks at Edie tied up and says, oh, this is fucking terrible. Wait a minute. This is sensational. Kinky sex. I'll go get the midgets and the whips. Edie, who's fucking tied up and gagged, mumbles something. And Jade laughs and says, okay, baby. And he unties her and they kiss. So all the points that I gave Jade, he lost them all right there.
Yeah. I mean, no. She's been terrorized. No, it's not cool. Not cool.
No. And the thing is, like, he doesn't even deliver his lines good, you know? That's the problem.
It's so, oh, God. I know. You know what the best thing is for women who've been traumatized? To just be swept off their feet by funny hunk. That's what it is. Ugh. No, that's not. Cut to his wife. I told him to take that scene out, but he thought it would be great. It is great. It's gold.
No, cut to his wife. I love Jade. I think she loves the men as much as Andy loves the women in this movie.
There you go.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And Andy might love the men too, but that's,
nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with any of that.
Nope.
It's hard to Backpedal. Backpedaling from an awkward conversation.
Good one. Outside, Dona is chasing down Erin and Rosie. They're running to the chopper and shooting back at her. Dona hides behind a tree next to Rowdy, who's holding the bazooka. He's kind of hiding behind the Jeep. Dona tells him to hand her the rocket gun, the quote-unquote rocket gun.
Give me that rocket gun. Come on.
As the helicopter takes off with Rosie and Erin in it, Dona yells, "Don't do it! No!" Rowdy tells her to take them out. Dona aims the rocket gun and blows the helicopter out of the sky. R.I.P. Erin and Rosie.
I mean, she did warn him.
She did. Taryn gets excited and yells, "Far out! James Bond did that in Live and Let Die." That was really gnarly. Dona yells back, "This isn't make-believe, it's real life." Then looks at Rowdy and says, "Isn't that right, numbnuts?" Rowdy replies with, "I love when you talk dirty." There's nothing like, there's just people yelling at each other. There's no conversation happening because what one person says has no relation to what the other person says.
Hey, babe, what's for dinner tonight? Fuck you and your Hot Wheels. Macaroni and cheese? Great. What?
Great. The whole gang group up in the aftermath of the battle. Rowdy says, "Looks like it's all over here. Edie, you all right?" She says she's fine and thanks them, especially Jade. Dona tells Taryn, "Well, kid, I'm going to take you out tonight. Catch you back at the house?" Taryn says she'll see her there later. Dona gives Rowdy a kiss on the cheek and leaves. Taryn says their Jeep is going to need an overhaul. Rowdy suggests they take the bad guy's van. Nobody's going to need it, and they all leave.
I love this next scene, by the way. It's so fucking funny.
In the van, Taryn is driving while Edie is laying down. Jade says, "You wouldn't believe it. Rowdy fired 6 shots at the guy. He missed every time." I like this. I like he's calling back to that. I think that's cool. That's really cool. Rowdy says, "Hey, I knew you were covering me." Taryn jokes that the wannabe female bartender practically ran into her arms, but he didn't. That's not what happened.
No.
And then she laughs. And then my note is, I mean, a person's dead. You know, like, we don't need to laugh at them.
We killed them good.
Taryn might be a sociopath.
Yeah, I think she is.
Edie then chimes in with, "Who got that bastard, Seth?" Everybody looks at each other and Taryn slams on the brakes. Just then the side doors of the van open and Rowdy drives out on a dirt bike and heads back the way they came.
It's the best. It's the best. They're like, "Oh shit, we forgot to kill the main guy."
Because while I was watching, I was like, "So is he flying the helicopter?" You know, like I didn't. Yeah.
It's really funny. It's almost like Andy Sidaris was like, "Oh crap! Oh, we shot it all! Damn it! I knew I forgot something.
I knew I forgot somebody." Cut to nighttime at Donna's house. She's taking off her makeup in the bathroom. When she comes out, Seth grabs her from the shadows. He slams her against the wall and is holding a knife. He asks her where the diamonds are. Dona replies with a knee to the groin.
Knee to the groin. Knee to the groin. Women's self-defense. Scratch.
What's that from? I know that's from something.
Pablo Francisco, the stand-up comedian, does a funny bit on women's self-defense. Knee to the groin. Knee to the groin. And then the pepper spray. He was like, "Come here, get closer so I can put this gel in your face." By the way, I was like, Dona, scream queen right here. Like, she would be great in a horror film.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And it's like, in all sincerity, because I think she's got a really, the fact that she's a Playboy Playmate, she's a good actor too, I think. You know?
Yeah. And if she's doing all this while also inebriated, like, she's only gonna, I assume, get better. And I actually really want to watch like more with her, so I'm gonna kind of move forward with it because
I'm sure you are.
I'm sure I am because Dona, woo, it's hard to get away.
I won't be in the room when Corey watches this.
Nope. She recovers and swings the knife. Seth recovers and swings the knife but misses. Dona dives into her closet and locks the door. This is very Halloween-esque.
That's why I wrote this down. I'm like, oh, this is totally Halloween ripoff, homage.
She grabs a spear gun out of a box while Seth tries hacking through the door. Just as he reaches through and opens the door, she shoots him in the chest with the harpoon.
I'm cool with that.
Yep. Dona runs up to him and yells, "Damn you," as she punches him to the ground. She beats him down. She thinks he's out, but we see him slowly reach for his knife. Dona looks at a picture of her dad, then leaves the room. We see
cool, nice callback.
Yeah. We see Seth get to his feet in the mirror. Cut to Rowdy driving his dirt bike down a dirt road.
You like my sound effects?
I do.
Oh, you're hired. This is great. Forget Michael Winslow from Police Academy.
In the kitchen, Dona leans against the refrigerator and then grabs an ice cube from the freezer and wipes it on herself. No, it's not as sexy as you think it is.
No.
All of a sudden, she pauses and looks behind her. The camera changes angles and we see Seth on the other side of the wall. Dona yells and spins around and grabs the knife in his hand. And I like this too. She grabbed the blade so it's like cutting into her hand.
Yep, she's a badass.
Yep. Dona spins the knife around and sticks it into Seth's gut. We think he dies on the floor in a pool of his own blood. Dona runs back into the bathroom and slumps down beside the toilet and starts cleaning her cut hand. When she throws the bloody tissue in the toilet and tries to flush it, the giant contaminated snake literally explodes out of the toilet. Dona screams and dives out of the bathroom and shuts the door. She looks back and sees Seth starting to sit up while clutching the knife. She dives over the bed and hides on the other side. The snake breaks a mirror in the bathroom, and Seth slowly walks over to the door while Dona peeks out from behind the bed. Usually you want your main protagonist to actually have a hand in the antagonist's death, but that's not really what happens.
No.
Seth, broken and bloody, opens the bathroom door with his knife raised and screams as the snake bites him in the face. Seth stumbles back and dies. For real this time. The snake slithers out of the bathroom and Dona screams and grabs her gun from beside the bed. She rolls out to the living room and takes aim. She shoots the snake in the mouth but doesn't kill it. Just then Rowdy rides his bike through her front door and grabs the bazooka. She screams, "Rowdy, look!" And he says, "Damn!" And then he shoots his bazooka and blows the snake's head off. Rowdy asks where the hell the snake came from. Dona says, "Would you believe up through the toilet?" He replies with, "Just when you thought it was safe to take a pee."
Oh, God.
Yep. Dona rolls her eyes and hugs him.
Yep. Way to go, Dona. Way to go, Dona.
And that was like the climax. So now we kind of have like sort of the denouement here. Cut to Honolulu. We see Edie, Dona, Taryn, and Rowdy riding in a limo with Jimmy John Jackson. Jade is driving, and Dona is wrapping her cut hand with... she's wrapping her cut hand, but also hiding brass knuckles under the wrapping. Rowdy says, "Okay, folks, we got one more stop on this tour." He tells Jade to stop at the next building. They all get out of the limo, but Rowdy tells them they gotta let him and Dona handle this one. Rowdy tells Dona that he's up at the penthouse. Let's do it. As they're walking inside, Dona asks who the hell this Chang guy is. Rowdy says he's the brains. Chinese father, British mother, raised in Hong Kong and London. Educated, suave, merciless. His bodyguard's a sadistic killer. Chang keeps him happy with his work. You know, that's all good dialogue. Not gonna lie.
It's all good. I think Sidaris is like fascinated with British spies and Chinese villains.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. He's infatuated with spies and yeah, and big boobs. Yep.
Yes. God.
In his penthouse, Mr. Chang is on the phone while his bodyguard stares at him because that's what his bodyguard does. Rowdy and Dona walk in and the bodyguard stands up between them and Mr. Chang. Mr. Chang tells Destroyer, now we know what the bodyguard's name is, to tear them in half. But Rowdy punches him in the face with nunchucks. But he doesn't go down, so Rowdy rains blow after blow upon him while Mr. Chang grabs a sword from the wall behind his desk. I mean, Destroyer does nothing but take a beating.
Yeah, he does.
Dona
starts. They show the bruises afterwards. It's brutal.
Dona starts punching Destroyer too. Eventually, they both beat him down. They turn around and tell Chang that it's over. He replies with, "In a pig's ass." Then he raises his sword like he's going to throw it, and Rowdy and Dona draw their guns. They tell him to drop it, but he throws the sword, and Dona blasts him through the penthouse window. Mr. Chang screams as he falls and lands right in front of the limo. And I think Taryn and Jimmy John should have just been covered in blood.
Yeah.
Taryn screams and hugs Jimmy John, who says, "I've heard of guys being dropped for a loss before, but this is really radical."
Oh, sports reference. Din-in-in, din-in-in.
Yep. Back in the penthouse, Donna and Rowdy are looking at the sword stuck in the wall between them. Rowdy says, "Thanks, kiddo. I'd probably have missed the son of a bitch." Again, I like the ongoing, joke, but then calling her a kiddo is
weird.
Yeah. Cut to the Malibu Express, and our gang is chilling. Rowdy proposes they all deserve a vacation cruise. Donna says they need to go back to Malachi first and find the other diamonds and turn them over to the agency. Taryn says, "Excuse me, Kimosabi, but we don't know where the diamonds are. Only moi knows where the diamonds are. As federal agents, you all are bound by law to turn in any confiscated goods, right? I'm just a mere civilian. Since anyone who could identify the diamonds are dead, the diamonds belong to me." Jimmy John asks if she can do that. Rowdy says she sure can. Taryn continues, "And she can also share the wealth with her friends. A job worth doing is a job worth doing for the right price." They all cheer and toast their champagne glasses. Cut to the credits. And then we have, and during the credits, great song, Hard Ticket, not Hard Ticket to Hawaii, but Hard Ticket is playing, while they cut in shots of like sort of more stenciled credits, which are cool, but then also shots of the movie that we just saw. And I was like, okay, I kind of don't like it when movies show us what we just saw in the credits, but then they chose to show us all the boobs. And I was like, okay, I like this. This is fine. And that's it. That's Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And thank you, Erin. Thank you.
Erin, if it wasn't for you, we would have not incriminated ourselves. So thank you. It's a hard ticket to Hawaii. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass.
Oh, buddy.
Whoa, what a ride.
What a ride. You said it multiple times. This is a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but in the best ways possible. I think it's weirdly sincere, like in what they're trying to do. They know exactly what they are. And every scene is fucking batshit insane. It's, guys and gals, if you have not seen it at this point, we're 3 hours in. If you haven't seen it, I hope you do watch it, because nothing we can do here can give it justice, and nothing we can say or do can give Dona Speir justice as well.
Yeah, I mean, Dona Speir gets the award for Best Actor in the movie for sure. This movie and its subsequent sequels are free on Tubi, by the way.
Yeah,
I just want to point that out. Yeah, it's a wild cult movie. It's exploitative in many ways, but that's what our show is all about in many ways. So it's just fun. It's silly. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's a barrel of monkeys, if you will. Not for the fact that there's moments that there's. No, I will correct myself. There's moments that are just like not necessary, but who cares? Even the unnecessary moments are laughable, and you get through it, and at the end of it, you don't feel like you wasted any time. So I know I didn't feel like I wasted any time by the end of this.
No, I freaking love this movie. I own the Blu-ray. I'm gonna be watching more. I'll probably just buy them because they're either $10 to $12 on Amazon. They're so
they're
fucking
pretty cheap.
And they have great fucking covers. Not a lot as far as extra features go or anything, but I don't give a shit. I'm here. I'm here for the boobs, guys. I'm here for the boobs. It's a hard ticket to
Hawaii. I'm not going to say anymore because I don't want to get myself in trouble.
But we both love this movie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you again for picking this for us to review. We also know the other movies you want us to review, hopefully in the future, and all of them are good. So this is a good time. Thank you for the boobs, Erin. Thank you.
and Erin, as well. Well, Crystal knows for sure. Even if you choose a movie that's not that great, we will give it the due diligence and respect of the picker's choice, and we will break this sucker down so hard that it'll feel like paradise.
There you go. And you know what always feels like paradise? $2 late fee. What's up, buddy?
Nice.
What you got going on next month, my man?
Well, Martial Arts Madness is over, and we're back into our original all good format. We discussed 1991's Hanging with the Homeboys on our latest episode. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend you seek it out. It's very hard to find, but it is 100% worth finding. And we have an upcoming interview with actor Nestor Serrano. If you don't know this guy's body of work, you will if you saw his face. If you saw his face, you go, oh, I know who that dude is.
And we discussed him on the very first episode of TV Obscura when you talked about the Hat Squad.
That's right. And speaking of the Hat Squad, he tells a wild story of one of the other actors in the Hat Squad and some controversy as to why it only went 13 episodes.
Hey.
There's a reason. There's a very spicy reason for that, where when Dustin and I heard him tell his story, our jaws dropped. We were like, whoa, that's shocking.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it comes around. It comes back many years later. So you got to listen to this interview. The dude is a super cool guy. He's on the level of a De Niro, by the way. He's that freaking talented. And yeah, that's what we're doing over a $2 late fee. And he recorded a great $2 6 questions that'll be available on Patreon. I know a lot of the people who listen to this show are also patrons to Podcasting After Dark and $2 late fee. But if you're not, consider being one. And if you're not a subscriber to our Patreon on Pad, please consider doing that, because you get to do what Erin's doing, breaking down a movie of her choice. Corey broke it down, and then we discussed it together.
Yeah.
And the wrap-up After Dark for this month is going to be very entertaining. It'll tie into Hawaii, because I'm going to tell some funny stories from my time there that you'll only hear exclusively on Patreon's Podcasting After Dark page.
That's right. And we also have the Carpenter Factor, where Zach and I are going through every single John Carpenter movie in order. We started with Dark Star, and we've already done that. We've already done Assault on Precinct 13 and Halloween. And this month we are going to be talking about his first made-for-TV movie. I think it's Somebody Watching Me, something like that. But we are going to be covering it. We're going to be covering that one, his other TV movie, the Elvis one. And then after that, we're going to also recover like The Thing and Prince of Darkness and everything. But
I think The Fog will be next, right?
Yeah, I think so. And we don't fully break them down. It's a much more free-form discussion, but that allows us to kind of focus our discussion on what the Carpenter factor is for these movies or for his movies in general. But we're looking at his entire filmography as a whole. It's going to be a 2-year long series, and then once we're done with it, we'll go on to our next auteur, and that can be found under the auteur de force tier. So we got all kinds of stuff going on the Podcasting After Dark Patreon. You get all the regular episodes too, completely ad free, so you don't hear any of the ads that we cut in or anything like that. So you can just listen to us talk about hard tickets to Hawaii and big boobs the entire time with no ads whatsoever. And, of course, you help keep the lights on at the studio. So we thank you guys so much for all the love and support you give us.
And trust us, it's signing up for our Patreon is cheaper than a 900 number.
Right?
I don't even know if those things still exist anymore. But if they do, it's still cheaper than a 900 number. 5 minutes on a 900 number.
Yeah, dude, man. Oh, those are days long gone. But yeah. So, anyways, check out all of the shows on the BFOP network. Check out Cartwright Seinfeld podcast. Check out Talking Back, Action, The Blast from Our Past, Throwback Trivia Takedown, all the good shit. And as always,
we'll catch you on the dark side. Be sure to subscribe to Podcasting After Dark and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Support Podcasting After Dark on Patreon. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Podcasting After Dark. And visit us next time for another installment of Podcasting After Dark with Corey Stevenson and Zach Schaefer.
Imagine being one of the last people on Earth being trapped alone with something not human. Something always watching. Something always waiting. What would you do? Where would you run? Where would you hide if you were haunted for 7 winters alone?
Podcasting After Dark presents 7 Winters Alone, a dystopian haunted house story by David Irons.
Available now in paperback and ebook.